Is it gonna be Mark or Chris? Chris quit. Oh my god, drama.
Wait, Chris quit?
Chris quit. It's Mark now. Oh my god.
Strong Jonathan.
Unbelievable.
Wait, which one's the one that does the updates for PoE 2? Because I like him. I like him a lot.
Jonathan. It's Jonathan. It's Jonathan. Yuzu and Jonathan sitting in a tree.
What the hell?
Kissing. Oh, I'm sorry. During Pride Month, I'm the worst.
Blah. Oh, it's him. I like this guy.
Games. And today we're here to
Oh my
showcase
god,
a new
his little
expansion for
accent.
PoE 1. It's certainly been
And
too
his
long
little
since we had one of
hair.
these. Now we had some struggles as a
He
studio for a
looks
little
so
while there.
sweet.
But we've got our shit together and we're back
I
in
would
action now.
love to.
Path of Exile
talk
Secrets
with
of the
him.
Atlas is coming out 1 week from now on the 13th of June.
You hear
And
that,
we're
Ray?
committing right now to a 4-month
Yuzu wants
cycle
a
for both
one-on-one
PoE 1
interview.
and 2. That means the next PoE 2 League will be in August, and the next PoE 1 League after that will be in October.
I think he's like just such a
Switch drops are enabled on today's live
just
stream,
like a
so
dev
you'll be able to
that's
claim your Skull of
so
Undeath
good at
helmet
listening
skin
to
by
his
following the instructions below.
The
This
People,
Skull
community.
of Undeath
yeah.
will track and show your total number of kills, deaths, and your KDR.
Ooh.
Just because Path of
I can
Exile
turn
isn't
up
a
the video.
first-person shooter doesn't mean this isn't important. Proudly or shamefully, link it to your friends or in global chat to show it off.
Oh my god.
And with that, let's get to why you're here. Secrets of the Atlas.
Secrets of the
Yeah!
Atlas.
Show
You can
me.
search a
You're
thousand
welcome.
worlds and still never truly discover
Is
who
this
you
loud
are.
enough for you, my loves?
Trust me.
Ooh.
Look at that man
I
in the
should know.
armor.
Wow.
But now, I seek something more tangible.
Louder.
Someone I care for. Trapped within the Atlas.
Oh
Reliving
my god.
memories.
Sexy redhead
Made real.
lady.
Made grotesque.
Hey, he just killed his kid.
Made foul.
He just killed a child. What the?
These manifestations
It's an F them kids.
must be destroyed.
He did it to summon a demon. Come on,
Their
obviously.
threats must be eradicated. I must
Ooh,
have
that looks like
answers.
such a fun boss.
We must find
Oh, he's
the
gonna kill that one
originator.
too.
We must
Probably, eh?
save my sister.
Whoa, she looks cool.
She looks awesome. Yeah, I think I'm lagging a bit too much on the 2K. Darn it.
Yeah, I'm on the highest settings, but it's like still kind of
It stutters a bit, eh?
yeah, a little bit.
That looks amazing. What the heck?
I
Room
can't.
cramp.
I can't wait to see the tree in Path of Exile 1.
Oh, how bad is gonna be the skill tree? Oh god. I turned it down a little bit. Oh, those tentacles! Wow. Po 1 has an
Your
even bigger
sanity
tree.
is not promised to you here.
Wow, what's that? Play for free next week?
1 p.m. June 13 PDT.
I'm Mark.
Hi!
Roberts, Game Director
Hi, Mark.
on Path of Exile. As you just saw from the trailer,
seem
there's
so
a
nice.
lot to show you. Today, we will take you on a deep
Path
dive
of
into
Exile
the
is
new
free to
Path
play.
of Exile,
Yeah.
Secrets of the Atlas endgame
I guess
update.
now's a good time to say that
Then
Yuzu
we'll
and
explore
I
the new
will
Challenge
be
League,
also
the
streaming
mercenaries of Trathus.
this
After
game next
that,
week.
we'll cover the integration of gold into PoE 1 and how we're bringing Settlers of
Thank you,
Kalgur into the
GGG.
core game. Finally, we have a much-awaited upgrade to Betrayal League and a set of quality
Ooh.
of life improvements. Then, we'll wrap up by discussing our boss kill race event, showing you our new supporter
Boss kill
packs,
race
and
event
ending
that
with a
we're
live
gonna win,
Q&A session,
obviously.
where Ziggy D will ask Jonathan and
That's
I
gonna be
your
us.
questions from Twitch chat.
That's what we're actually going to be streaming
In
next
Path of
week.
Exile Secrets of the Atlas,
Not us
strange
starting
rifts
the
have
game.
begun to appear across the Atlas. Zana has returned and appears to be trapped within.
Zana.
Partway through the endgame, you will meet Egan, an
Ooh,
intelligent
he looks
man of
cool.
mysterious heritage. These tears in reality he has discovered are actually threads of memory, distorted
Ooh.
and made real by the Atlas. Egan is able to create a link to these memory threads and open portals to them. Working
my
with
God.
Egan, you must step through and find
Well,
Zana.
we already know what
or
happens to the baby.
Whatever remains of her.
Unfortunately.
They get Thanos
Okay,
snap.
so that's the story background. But how does this expansion actually work? In The Secrets of the Atlas, the pursuit of Zana with Egon is a new storyline that is introduced in
God.
high-tier maps. Upon meeting Egon and discovering the tier, he will then transfer it to your map device.
Oh my god, I can be an aura bot for
A
Mata.
thread of
Yeah,
memories.
you can. You can
In
buff
order
me.
to now access each map on the
5-minute
thread,
reminder.
you simply need to talk
Let me
to
know if
Egon when you're
Ray
ready,
answers.
and he'll open the areas in sequence.
Okay, I have the Discord open.
These areas can be
Nice,
fully
nice.
influenced by your Atlas tree,
I'm not gonna
scarabs,
lie, this armor
fragments,
looks
and
insane.
everything of the sort.
You can actually get that in
Oh.
2.
As you work your way along the
but I'm
thread,
not that far.
you will discover that these maps have
It's a
manifested dangerous
cosmetic
threats,
that you can
influenced by
buy.
the memories of Zana herself.
See, she knows everything.
Monsters
I love
here
her.
are imbued with memory petals. Defeat them to absorb
gonna
this
try
power,
again.
which can be unleashed as a special ability during combat. Different maps on the thread have different abilities, and these abilities appear on an
Oh my
additional
god, there's so
mini
many
skill bar
potions
next
on the
to your
bottom
regular
left.
skills.
I know.
For example,
5 whole
memory of this
potions.
belief
I'm so
will cause
excited.
all
I
affected
need more
monsters
buttons to
stop dropping
spam.
equipment items, meaning they can now only
Oh
drop more valuable
no.
items like currency and maps.
Are you
Memory
ready
of
for all the
Panic will
uniques
make
we're gonna
all
farm?
affected monsters revive immediately
I'm ready
after
for all
death,
of the
which means you
items
can get
dropping on the
twice as
floor
much
that I can
experience
shuffle
and drops
through.
from them. And Memory of Impatience will cause all surrounding enemies to give you their souls, temporarily increasing your power.
Poe drops like
As you
100
progress
times more
further
items.
into the
Oh
thread of
no.
memories, the maps can have more than one memory.
It's gonna be really annoying
and
the
thus
first
you can
time
have
I
more
play
than one powerful ability.
today.
As you gather memory petals, you can use these powers together. Each skill costs its own amount of memory petals.
I like how he
using
says
the examples
pedals.
above, you can first use Memory of Impatience to become
What
way more
class is
powerful.
he playing? Is that the
Then use
Marauder
Memory
or
of
something?
Panic to prepare them to
I
revive
might
when they are slain.
have to do Witch,
Then
just
use
because I
Memory
like
of
Witch, but
Disbelief
we'll see.
to cause them to drop
I'm a
better,
filthy staff
more
user.
valuable items.
Oh, for a second I thought
Finally,
Elliot was gifting
obliterate
me
them all.
those subs. God
The
damn.
Memory of Panic will kick in,
Do
causing
you
them
see
to
it pop up on your
revive,
screen?
and then wipe them
Oh
out
yeah,
again,
I saw
allowing
it.
you to get all the experience
I
and
got
enhanced drops
bamboozled.
twice.
Thanks, Elliot.
There are many combinations of
For
these
gifting to
powers, so
GGG.
you'll have to carefully consider
Dude,
how
look
they
at all
best work together.
those orbs.
I know.
That's not the only extra layer of content juicing these maps offer.
I'm so excited.
As you defeat
Holy.
the boss of each map along the thread, you are presented with an altar.
Ooh.
This altar will apply a modifier to all following maps in the thread.
Let's
and these
go.
will stack as you go. So the deeper
Farming.
you delve into a memory,
Orb.
the more mods you will
Farming. I
This,
love
combined
farming.
with the special abilities, will allow for some of the most juice maps ever run in Path of Exile.
Did he say most juice
Let's take
maps?
a look at some of the altar mods.
Juice. Yeah.
You are always presented with two choices
That's the
and must pick one.
term.
Juiced
This mod,
maps.
for example,
Yeah.
will cause some rare monsters to be possessed by tormented
I
spirits.
love being most juiced.
Where this mod makes Kerak modifiers free to craft.
I love it.
Both of these apply to all subsequent maps in the thread.
Oh my god.
The final map in each thread is a true challenge.
Cardinal
With all the
here.
altar mods applying to it and guarded by a powerful boss.
The deceitful god.
Each of these bosses are familiar, but dreamlike. Drawn
Ooh.
from Zana's memories and warped by the Atlas into something very
Who's
different
who's
and terrifying.
Zana and why is she back?
In this
Zana
map,
is an
you will fight
NPC
the
from
pinnacle
the
boss,
game.
Ceres.
That like
Fueled by
was an important
Zana's
NPC and they just
affectionate
came
memories
back.
of him,
That's why
his
everybody's
enhanced abilities
freaking
can
out.
prove to be
Oh.
a unique challenge.
I'm guessing it was a well-loved
If
character.
you manage to defeat Ceres,
Or
one of the
well-hated
other warped memory
character.
bosses,
Oh, she is
they will
waifu
drop
number
a
one.
map fragment,
I think she
which
is
Egan
love.
can use to delve deeper into the memory tiers.
She was the OG
Well,
map
With
well,
these,
well.
you can
NPC.
access a set of 3 new pinnacle bosses.
Whoa, 3 new pinnacle bosses.
In this arena, the moment of reverence,
I'm ready.
Zana is reliving a memory of her father, Valdo, giving a passionate speech in Oriath.
She used to be Russian. I mean,
The
Zana
Atlas
sounds like
distorts this memory
Zana,
of
so
her
I'm not
father
surprised.
as a powerful, influential man and manifests those emotions
Oh
into
god,
a
is that
twisted
one of the
That boss
pinnacle
looks
bosses?
insane.
incarnation of dread.
They look insane with like the little sharp teeth and stuff. Wow.
That's the guy that killed the child.
Another memory created is the
Oh,
incarnation
I'm ready.
of neglect and the incarnation
Oh,
of
that
fear.
guy.
Good luck,
Woo!
Oh,
Exiles.
these are the 3 pinnacle bosses.
Yeah.
Of course. If
They
you are
look so
brave
cool.
and strong enough to defeat them,
Yeah.
each of these new pinnacle bosses have new unique items befitting them. If you slay the incarnation of fear, You might be lucky enough to find the Star Caller unique Abyssal
That
axe.
looks like a Sailor Moon staff.
We're gonna show this one because it's straight up badass.
Bad
The Star Caller
ass.
axe is a
They
weapon
said
that
it.
can
We could say
harness
ass
the power
now.
of the stars themselves.
Yeah, what the
to deal
heck?
immense damage. What makes it shine, however, is that on melee crit, it casts Starfall. A new
We
star.
can say ass
With
in the
right build,
sponsor.
you can carpet
Ass,
entire
ass,
areas
ass.
and wipe out screens of enemies
Juice
as you rain
maps.
down the elements upon them.
Juice maps.
Another item you may find, and
Oh,
this one
this
is
is
my
my item.
favorite,
This is
is
my
the
item.
Wine of the Prophet
Yeah.
unique flask.
She is love.
The
It consumes a
wine
lot of
mom
charges,
item.
But every time you use it, you draw a random divination card.
Isn't that crazy?
This card appears above you
30% increase
and
for every
correlates to
item
a powerful
found.
buff.
Let's go.
If you draw the escape card, you'll gain increased movement speed.
I'm gonna
Or
check
maybe
my
you'll draw the Doctor,
my link
which
real
will cause you
quick.
to gain the
Okay.
modifiers of slain rares you kill.
I love it. I need the wine
Effectively,
one.
You can think of this unique as being many other uniques all
Okay,
in one.
it still doesn't
There are
work.
many cards to draw, each with varying degrees of power to grant. Okay, but let's get back to the Atlas.
Plunging
After
solitude.
defeating all
Oh.
3 new pinnacle bosses, you'll be able to find new memory-influenced Tier 16 maps.
Holy
These
cow.
maps come with the previously
Marked for
mentioned
death?
special abilities and monsters infused with memory petals.
I mean, these
that
look
can also
juiced as
roll the same
frick.
modifiers typically found in
Yep,
Tier
yep,
17
freaking
maps,
juice.
The
making
item
them
rarity
far
though
more
on the
rewarding.
right.
Oh wait.
With
Oh,
all
I
these
didn't. I
new
was
memory
reading the one on the
maps
left.
comes a new item mechanic.
Oh my god, I was moving my
Items in
mouse.
these maps can drop with memory strands.
I thought it was my
And will
mouse.
have a random amount, up to 100. This does a few things.
What class
When you
is this,
identify
chat?
the item, it will increase the
Yeah,
tiers of modifiers
it looks like
your
some
item
kind
has.
of
Generally
not barbarian
speaking,
because they have a
the
mace
more
and a
memory
shield.
strands, the better the item will be.
I love how everybody calls you
On top of
Tangerine.
this, whenever you're crafting that item using currency orbs to replace or
Only
add modifiers,
Kiwi's dad can
such
call
as
me
alterations,
Tangerine.
chaos,
They've
and so
all
forth,
been calling you
it will
Tangerine.
consume some memory strands
It
to
looks,
make
yeah,
the crafted
Crusader,
mods
maybe
more
Man at
powerful.
Arms. Mm-hmm.
The new pinnacle bosses also drop new crafting currencies, which can be used to
Gladiator with
manipulate
Champion
the amount
Ascension
of memory
class. Thank you,
strands on an
Kiki.
item. The Orb of Remembrance will let you add memory strands
Do you guys think
to any
Elon Musk will
normal
be playing the
equipment.
DLC?
So if you have your
Oh,
perfect
God.
base to craft on, and it doesn't already have
Sorry,
memory
the
strands,
what is it called?
you can add some
The
before
expansion.
crafting. The Orb of Unraveling
No,
will
it's
consume
probably gonna be
all
someone he
remaining memory
hired.
strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers. This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory
It's
strands
the
it
Starlink
consumes.
lag, I promise, guys.
The Orb of Intention can be used on memory influence maps to reduce item drops.
He's gonna
but
be playing on
improve the
hardcore and
chance
he's
to
gonna
find
die
items
to the
with memory
tutorial
watching with
boss.
us. Yeah, right.
In the process of adding these new
I
currency
died to
items,
the tutorial
we
boss.
realized something was missing. The Shaper and the Elder did not have their own
I'm not
exalted
proud,
orbs.
but it is who I am.
This has now been rectified. Both bosses now have exalted orbs, which can add their influence to an item.
Murder boots.
Zana was there from the beginning. When the Shaper Pinnacle fight was first
Wait,
held,
is Wish the
she
only
helped defeat the Elder,
mage
and
in
she was a
PoE
critical
1?
part of the Conqueror's storyline.
I'm not sure.
Now,
I
with
think there's
all 6
6
influence
classes,
types having their
but
own exalted
we're gonna
orbs,
take a look.
the cycle is complete. It's almost as if
Can
we
make
could now
anyone
do
a
some
mage.
sort of new, epic,
You aren't
unique
claiming
item
to be a top tier
interact with
player?
them.
Oh, yes, I am.
In other news,
Oh,
there of course
wait
has
till
to
you
be
find out
Atlas
about my
passive tree
big
support
ego.
for this new in-game
You think
content.
my breasts are big?
Let's take a look at a few things we're
Wait till
adding.
you find my ego.
The Grasp the
Holy
Past notable passive
Shebar.
skill increases the chance for the amount of memory strands on items dropped in your memory influence maps to be lucky. This means
Yeah,
it will
which is
roll
the mage
number
class,
of memory
Yuzu,
strands
my love.
twice, keeping the highest value. By allocating traumatic experience, remembered kindness, or educated upbringing, you'll decrease the chance of finding memory threads that lead to specific bosses, meaning you'll have better chances at
Ooh.
finding the memory threads you would like
Any
to
class
run.
can play any skill as long as you meet stat
This
requirements. So
is
same as
especially
Path of
useful
Exile
if you
too,
want
yeah.
to target farm a specific boss because of its unique item drops.
I can't wait to get into
Nice.
Path of
The
Exile
secrets
1
of
and
the
look at
Atlas
the
will have
tree
you
for an
questioning what
hour.
is real, as you
I know,
attempt
that's
to
gonna be
free
us
Zana
just like
of warped
that.
memories scattered throughout the Atlas.
It's not even
You'll
gonna
fight
be
new
gameplay,
Guardian
it's
and
just gonna be
Pinnacle
looking
bosses
at the
tormenting
tree.
her, find
I
crazy
think
new
that's
Pinnacle
that's
uniques,
content.
combine and unleash memory petal empowered skills,
Path of Exile noob
juice
discovers
maps
the
to
skill
new
tree.
heights, and
Yeah.
craft powerful new items. While we were showing all the juicy rewards from the new endgame system, you might have noticed that a lot of gold was dropping. Let's talk about that.
Ooh,
Money.
gold. Is
was
gold
introduced
finally
during the Settlers
useful?
of Calgar expansion. It
She knows
funded the
everything.
development and operations of King's March, along with various new features such as the currency exchange.
Wow.
black
Wait,
market.
they didn't have that before?
Oh, I
and
love
passive
the black
respect system
market.
with Faustus.
I love spending my money.
Those features offered by Faustus will be here to stay, along with some of the other services King's March has to offer. We'll get more into that later, but don't worry. King's March has already been completed. There will be no more town building.
Currency exchange is a
Like
new
before, gold
feature.
will be used for town services, but we're also adding a new way to use it in the upcoming league.
PoE 1 plebs
It's
when they have
time
to
talk
manually
about
trade
mercenaries of
everything.
Trathus. In this league, you will meet veterans who have travelled all the way from the lawless cities of Trathus. They're ready to offer their sinister services, but not for free. You will encounter these mercenaries as you journey through Rayclast, one in each area. They have their own personalities, and come
Oh,
with
they're
different
so
builds,
cute. He looked
skills,
so.
and items already equipped.
He looked like
After
standing
meeting
man
them,
emoji.
as per the Trathan code, they will challenge you to a duel, a test of strength and conviction.
Give me one quick
Before
moment.
beginning the duel, you will be offered an overview of the mercenary you've encountered. Here, you can see the gear they have equipped, the skills they employ, and any support effects augmenting those skills.
Wow.
You must now make a choice. You can hire their services, take one of their items, or exile them.
Yuzu, can you check Discord
If you
for
choose
1
to hire
second,
them,
please, Spooky?
for a gold
Yeah.
cost, they will accompany you as a skilled combatant to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Rayclast.
Okay.
Once you've decided, you can begin the duel. This is a great opportunity to test them, as you don't want to be out of pocket with a useless rookie. However,
Yeah, that's fine.
they're
Hold on, we're
testing
having
you
a
too.
friend come
They
in with
also
us
don't
to
want to
watch
be
with
working
us.
for an amateur. So,
I'm gonna call
what
in the
items might
new
they be
group,
using?
okay?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, mercenary gear is more powerful than what you'd normally find from
Hello?
defeating monsters,
Hello.
as they've been crafting their items too. They can also come equipped with unique items, those that would make sense for the skills they are using. There are even some new unique items that can only be obtained from defeating them. One such unique is Scornflux. These boots combine agility with the mastery of the arcane. While equipped, increases to cast speed from Arcane Surge also apply to movement speed, which is
Ooh,
worth
wait, that's
noting
huge.
is now 20% inherently from Arcane Surge, up
What?
from 10. They also grant Arcane Surge when you use a movement skill.
Hi.
This allows for some
Wow.
speedy spellcasters.
Hi, Zen.
Sometimes you may meet particularly infamous
Yuzu.
Trathan mercenaries,
How's it going?
bearing the name of their house. These mercenaries descend from the
It's
four
so
major
awesome to
death
see you.
trade families in Trathus.
It's been a while.
It's good to
They are less
see you,
common, but
Zenny.
have far better items. And they are also the sole source of items with new, infamous
Yeah.
modifiers, unseen before in Rayclast, such as these gloves.
I
which
haven't
convert
played
all
Path
your
of
minions'
Exile's
fire
one
damage
yet.
to chaos damage.
Oh, us either.
Us
Or this
too.
helmet,
It's gonna be our first
which causes
time.
nearby enemies to
I
take
played the
more
second
physical
one,
damage
though.
as you gain more
Yeah,
fortification.
Yeah, that one is like really good.
If you're
What
not
class did you
swayed
play
by
in the
any
second
of their
one?
equipped gear, however, you can always challenge them for the contents of their pockets.
I was enjoying
If
that
you
it
lose
was
the
the new
duel,
one.
don't worry. You don't need
Oh,
to give
the
them an
Huntress?
item. You aren't bound to
Of
Trathan
course, you
traditional
play
Yes.
the Huntress.
However, you
Of
are bound to
course.
Rayclast
I
tradition.
couldn't get the
So,
combo down because
you'll
I'm
just-
I
bad.
like throwing out tornadoes is really funny.
While playing in a party,
let me turn down
each
Zenny a
player
bit.
can decide
a
whether or
really
not
good
they want
class.
to participate in combat against the
Before
mercenary.
Huntress, did you do like
For each player
Ranger
that opts
too?
in, the mercenary gets more difficult. But if they're defeated, each player has a 50% chance to get a random reward.
I was
I feel like
actually
it's
which is
gonna make a
usually
ranger
currency
class
items from the
right after
mercenary's
that.
pouch.
I knew it. I knew it.
You know Zenny so well.
I just read
Party
them like
members
a
that opt
book.
out of the fight can spectate
She's
all
I've
so
they
already
ready.
want.
bought a bunch of
Or
outfits
they might
too.
wish for your demise, so they can pick
I
up
have the
Same
little
though.
crab
divine
teleporting
waiting off
skin
screen.
Good.
in Path of Exile 2.
Let's say you won the duel, like
Well, are
their
we all
items.
gonna level
I have
and
those
together?
really
decided to hire them.
ginormous armors.
What combat skills do they bring to the table?
I'm excited to see the
Each
skins in this
mercenary
game
has an
too.
archetype. Here, this mercenary is an eruptor, which perfectly couples with my slower, more
When did this game
aura-focused style.
first came out?
This mercenary
2013.
is highly aggressive, and will get a lot
Whoa,
of
is that guy
benefit
a
from the auras and
paladin?
buffs I provided.
He looks so cool. What the heck?
When I'm
She's
playing
so
a more aggressive
holy.
character myself, though, I'll want a mercenary with a bit more resilience and utility. I've just run into a striker who can
As
sport
I
I
with
like
started
these
with
vigilant
top-down
strike.
types of freaking
And if you're
RPG
lucky,
games.
a
I
very
play a
rare
lot of
golden
these.
support
Yeah,
that
me
causes the
too.
fortify granted by his vigilant strike to apply
Well,
to
apparently
me as
we're
well.
Sorry,
going to be
go
stealing you
ahead.
next week. No. We're going to
will
be stealing
also
you next week
frequently
when we
use
play.
them during
I'm
crop.
excited.
Taunting enemies off of me.
It's more fun to play
and
with
operating
friends.
as a tanky front line
I will be
while
ready
I
for
blitz
you.
off damage from the back.
We are
Sometimes when
planning
fight a
Yuzu and I to
mercenary,
like take
you
a look
may
at the
notice
game
the skills they're
after
using
this
are different from
showcase as
normal.
well, just because
For
we're
example,
probably going to be looking at the
this
skill tree
sniper
for an hour.
is using a Trathan version of Siege Ballista. If you're lucky, you will be able to select it as your reward when challenging them. Then defeat them, and they'll drop the Trathan gem as promised.
Oh, have you guys never seen a
You can
scale
only have
tree?
one mercenary
Oh,
I
no,
out
think
on
I
not
you
played
at
a
a
little
time,
bit of the first
but up
one.
to 3 total in your service.
I haven't seen the
The
first
other two will
one
wait
skill
patiently in
tree,
town.
but the second one is
Having
still
varied
pretty like
options is useful,
crazy.
as there may
Yup.
be situations where you need specific backup.
Apparently, the
like a
first one's even
difficult boss fight.
crazier.
Yeah.
Any of your mercenaries you have active,
I think
or
there's a
in your
clip of me
reserves,
reacting
can
to the
have their
skill
equipment
tree,
replaced
and I
with
felt
items
my
of your
brain
choosing.
explode.
They don't level up. So
Just
you will want
regular
to be
sleep
looking
brain
out
the
for
right
more
way,
skilled
though.
and more powerful mercenaries as you advance through the campaign.
I'm not gonna
and
lie,
endgame.
getting mercenaries, thank God, because I
If your
am bad at
mercenary falls
games.
in combat, you will need to return to town and spend some gold on healing supplies to get them back on
And
their
I
feet.
can't always have my friends help me
Then
game,
perhaps consider
so
giving them
I'm
some
happy.
upgrades, if you think it's deserved. I just wanted to
I
clarify,
will always help you where I
mercenaries
can.
do not lose their equipment when defeated. If your merc buddy consistently fails you,
Oh
you
no.
can just dismiss them and find a new, more resilient ally.
I
I'm
wonder
trying
if
to
you could-
remember that the first one is a lot more harder than the second one.
That's what the folks are
You
saying.
think so? Wait, really?
That's what the people are saying,
Earlier,
yeah.
I mentioned you could
Oh,
exile
I feel like
mercenaries.
I've heard
I
the
do
other
like
way
those.
around.
If you keep running into a mercenary archetype and you think, man, this guy stinks, their gear is trash and they have no auras, you can then choose to exile
Listen,
them.
grinding gear games.
If you win the duel,
I have a
they'll
thing
be
to tell you.
forced
It's
to
going to be
leave with their
crazy.
tail between their
Marrying
legs,
your
and
mercenary.
you won't encounter that
Make it
archetype
happen,
again for a
please.
while.
I want to fight with my husband in video games.
Romance option.
Alongside these new Trathan arrivals,
Please.
we shouldn't forget
There is
about
no
the
peace in
recent
these
Kalgurin
games,
ones too.
unfortunately.
Please
As we
let me
mentioned
kiss,
earlier,
kiss, fall
the
in
Settlers
love.
update introduced gold-based respeccing of passive points.
There
You
is
can now
only
do
death.
so by talking to a number of NPCs throughout Rayclast, starting with Bestil and
Oh,
Lionized
shoot.
Watch.
Oh my god.
Black
Why,
market
why did they
gambling,
give him such big
previously just available in
abdominals?
Kingsmarch,
There's
is
only
now
blood
available
and death in
each
Path
town
of
at the same
Exiles.
NPC.
Guys, I
This
think
lets you buy
Vedal just
randomly
rated
generated
me.
item
Say
bases for
hello.
Very useful if you're stuck for
Hello,
upgrades
hello,
or searching for a
hello.
specific unique. The currency
Heck
exchange
yeah.
will be returning
Much
too.
love.
Starting
Thank
from
you,
Lionized Watch
Turtle.
in Act
Thank
6,
you,
I love how
you'll
you
be able
spent
to
your
find
money
Faustus,
on
who
very
can help
legal
facilitate
things.
these
Tudel.
trades.
I'm currently doing a sponsored
Now,
segment for
after
Path
almost
of
a year
Exile.
of building, Johan
Um,
is finally
The
satisfied with
new
the
Oh
upgrades
Path of
my.
made
Exile
to the
expansion
town.
is coming
And
out
now its services can be
within
used
the
to their
upcoming
full
week.
effect.
So
Kingsmarch
I'm
is
currently
going core,
watching it with
but there will
Mata
be
and
no
Zen.
more
But
town
thank you for the raid.
For everybody
The
coming
Welcome.
game
in, we
still
are
looks
reacting.
really good.
As you start running
Oh,
back to the
wow.
endgame,
Thank you,
you'll
thank
start to
you.
find different ore veins.
We're reacting to
which
the
Kalgurin
new
workers can
expansion
mine for
announcement
you.
of Path of Exile
The
1.
shipping mechanic invites you to send these ores and crops to Karui and Kalgurin ports, and they'll
Oh,
return
yes.
rewards in kind.
Oh my goodness.
By
I
sending
love
shipments, you'll receive different items. But by
I
sending
love
to Karui
Town
ports, you will also
Simulator.
receive tattoos.
I feel like
which can
there's
be
so
used
many
on your
things that I
passive
was
tree to
spoiled
change what
by
stats they
in Path of
grant.
Exile 2, where I don't know if it's a new
The
feature in
Kalgurin
1.
ports will be sending back rune
Right?
grafts, which is a new passive tree mechanic that replaces
Like
the
I said,
runesmithing
please just let me
service
marry my
previously offered
mercenary.
by the
Path
town.
of
I'm so
Exile
happy.
2 was very
These are
smooth.
similar to tattoos,
Yeah.
but instead of replacing stat nodes,
I liked it
they
a lot.
replace a passive tree mastery node. For example, Runegraft of the Bound reduces bonuses gained from boots, but increases bonuses gained from gloves.
Oh.
Runegraft of the River
I
has
heard
a
you hate
chance
your
to
boots and
recover
you
your
love your
life to full
gloves.
if you reach low life.
Nice.
And the Runegraft of Time, which has a chance for your cooldown skills to instantly recover from their cooldown, which I will note includes cooldowns on your triggers. Just
I
in
have to
case you
say,
wanted to
it
trigger
is really
even
awesome that
more
they're working on
spells.
both games. And they're
There are
not
many
letting
other
the first game
Runegrafts
die
which cover
just
a wide
because
range of different
yeah.
builds
they have
and
a new game.
stats. Some are more
That is
common,
The
big
and
release
others
of
rarer.
2 is a little
Absolutely
You can only
rocky
use
based.
one of a given type at a
considering
time, but you can
Like
use them
their
on
team was
any
so
mastery on
small
your
for
passive
both
tree,
games.
which can be particularly
Wait, how big is
useful
their team?
for off-class
Well, it's like
investment.
they
Isla
used the
has
same team
continued
for
to make
both games, so it was
modifications to the
like
recombinator.
it was kind of like
She has developed a new method of recombination that you
pushing
may recognize from Path of
limits
Exile 2.
almost.
For those unfamiliar, this method allows you to decide which modifiers on the two input items you want to try merge together, and it has a success chance you can see. This method can result in the items being destroyed. However, it is a good option to use when trying to create items with fewer mods to use as crafting projects. Given the existing recombinating mechanic was very powerful for top-end crafting, we didn't want to remove it. We have kept it, and you can now choose to use it the old way or the new way.
Oh yeah,
By letting
PoE
fate
1 is
decide,
the
it
one
will
that
combine the
Lena
two
worked
items
on.
randomly.
She did like
There is no risk of
environments and
destroying
stuff.
either item,
Really?
but it will
Oh,
be
that
less
is
predictable.
really cool. What the heck?
That's
I
so
think I
freaking
knew that
cool.
already, actually.
As Settlers is now a core
Yeah.
mechanic, we've also added Atlas passive tree support. For
They
example,
had some people on Path of
if you
Exile
wanted to
1, but
gather
they
more
dragged
Varisia
99% of
you
them
could take
to
this
2.
notable.
Oh.
Each ore has a similar node.
Someone said she
Refiner's
made booty
Bargain
holes in
converts
chapter
items
4.
dropped by
What?
possessed monsters into thaumaturgic dust, sulfite into random ores,
I thought
and
she made
life force
rocks.
into random crops.
I'm gonna lose my brains.
Well,
We've
if you
also
look at
added a
some
set of
rocks
Caliburn
closely, they look like
scarabs.
booty
So you
holes.
can
That's
collect
her.
ore deposits, increase the rarity of monsters that guard ore deposits to at least
That's
magic,
her. That's
Is
the
this
one.
true?
or gather smelted bars from ore you mark.
Of course,
instead
then. I
of
would
Brock,
never
is
lie
this
to you.
true?
To sum it all up, Kingsmarch is now a thriving town where you can employ a swath of workers
Me
to
when I
collect
spread
resources,
misinformation.
refine ores, craft items,
Did you know, Yuzu,
And
that
run
if
maps
Zen
for
gets
you.
100k on her
send
subathon,
shipments of
she's going to
resources
take
in
2 weeks
exchange
off
for
to marry
tattoos
me
and rune
so I can
grafts,
finally get my
using
citizenship.
those to modify your passive tree
Oh my
to an
god.
extent
You
never
heard
seen
it here,
before.
chat.
It's true.
Following on from
You
that,
heard it
we've also
here.
made a substantial
Comes
rework
the
to another
bride.
important mechanic, Betrayal.
Ooh!
As a refresher, and to explain to
love
new
Betrayal.
players, let's briefly explain what Betrayal is. Betrayal
Betrayal.
is a mechanic introduced in
Oh.
Act 9 and tells the story of Jun Ortoy and her
Okay.
investigation of the Immortal Syndicate. This is a mysterious group of exiles who can seemingly come back from death.
I never realized how
You
big
must
this
help Jun to
expansion would
uncover their
be.
leader, the Syndicate Mastermind.
They cooked.
The Immortal
clean.
Syndicate is organized into 4 divisions.
They put a lot of love into this.
Transportation, fortification, research, and intervention. As you encounter the Immortal Syndicate members, you'll gain intelligence for each of these divisions to discover
a-
the location of their leaders.
It's a
tracking them to their
mystery.
safe houses.
Wow!
Defeating the division leaders at their safe houses will reward you with intelligence on the Syndicate
That
Mastermind.
is so cool!
In your journey to track down the Syndicate leader, you'll manipulate the members of the Immortal Syndicate
What
to
the-
change divisions,
Oh my
form friendships and
god.
Oh my god,
rivalries,
you're like a detective.
You are! Da da da.
and even banish them from the Syndicate for a time.
Okay. I want to be
Historically,
Scooby-Doo.
This
After
is
encountering
a
and defeating the
crazy-looking
Syndicate
expansion.
Mastermind, the
What
stage
in
of
the
the Immortal
world?
Syndicate would
It's
reset,
huge.
I think I
requiring
remember
you to start
people
from the
saying
beginning of
that
the
like
investigation
PoE
again.
1, like their
This
league
has always been a
was
difficult
super
decision for
delayed.
players
So maybe
and can
this is
often
why like
feel
the
bad.
update is so
Do you
huge.
fight the Mastermind for a chance at the special loot, or keep farming the safe houses that you've spent so long setting up?
Borichi.
Well, in the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've split out
But
the
one
Mastermind
endgame is
to
so
be
deep. I mean, it's
completely
12
separate
years
from the
old,
core
right?
mechanic. The boss is now accessible through a new fragment
Wow.
that has a chance to drop from the safe
Don't
house
say that
leaders at
again,
high
because I
levels.
feel old when you say
The
that.
Mastermind no longer resets the state of the
It's
Immortal
12 years
Syndicate.
old.
You can now build your Betrayal board to your liking,
Holy
optimize it,
heck.
do Mastermind fights, and reap the rewards without having to lose all your progress every time.
I
The
cannot
boss
wait
fight
to get to
itself
this
has
place
also
in
been
game.
improved,
Holy.
now with significantly fewer immunity phases and new rewards.
Is the quality
By the
right
way,
now like a
if
little
you're a new player
grainy
to Path
for
of
you
Exile
guys?
1, don't
Yeah,
worry about all
I
this
had to
detail.
lower mine to
This content
away
is
from
optional,
2K
and you can
because it would lag a
discover
lot.
and engage with it
I'm
at
at the
your own
highest
pace.
setting.
Yeah.
The Mastermind still has
It
a
lags
chance
a lot
to
when
drop
I'm on the
Veiled
highest
Orb,
setting.
now renamed to Veiled Exaltador.
I think it's
Veiled
just
Chaos Orbs are being re-added to other safe house leaders.
whatever they're
In
broadcasting
addition,
off
the
of.
Mastermind now drops the new All Flame Embers. All Flame Embers are map fragments
y'all prefer
that
it on
replace
the
monster
better
packs and
quality?
in-game maps
My
with
Momos?
different types of special
Oh no,
monsters.
it will. I'm sorry,
These
Momos.
packs have
I
unusual
answered my own
properties,
question.
compositions, or rewards.
It lags a little bit.
For example, you might use the All Flame
Suffering.
Ember of Kulamak which replaces packs with Syndicate monsters and their leaders, who revive after the map boss has been slain. This might at first sound annoying,
Jesus
Like how
Christ,
far
this guy's
but these
build.
monsters when revived are far
I
more
know,
intense
it's crazy.
and rewarding.
What's
He has no more
crazy
health
is like
potion,
this is
though.
probably like
It is
one
our
of the
intention
least
with
visual
All Flames to
effects
provide
type
many
builds.
different types that combine with other mechanics, multiplying with your
I am
existing
so
modifiers
excited
in new
for
and
everything
interesting
lagging.
ways.
All flames, all the juicy.
Another good example of this is the All Flame
I'm
Ember
excited
of
for the
Propagation.
juicy.
When slain, special rare monsters added by this All Flame here
We gotta get
will
you a
spread their
dual
modifiers
PC
to other
setup.
rare monsters in the map. This can
Only
be
after
useful
I have
when
a
trying
tech
to create
husband
singular,
or tech
very
wife.
powerful, and very rewarding
Until then,
monsters.
I can't.
Something akin to meat sacks, which are making a reinvented comeback with this update too.
One of the requirements to become my
Another
partner
is
is
the
you have to be
All-Flame
really
Ember
good
of
with tech,
Resplendence,
so you can be
which
my
adds
tech
Yeah,
buffs
yeah,
partner.
and
yeah.
drop no items.
Uh-huh.
But when you slay them, you get buff
It's true.
stacks of increased quantity and rarity to enhance the drops
Oh,
of all other
Yuzu.
monsters.
Apparently, we gotta tell Zen about Epic after
All
this.
Flame Embers can be placed in your map device
Yep.
like scarabs.
Oh my god,
Keep that-
yes.
Used
Keep
in
that in your
conjunction
pocket.
with scarabs to further customize your maps. We're looking
Zen,
forward
I'm
to
so
seeing
happy
which
you're here.
combinations
I am
players find to
excited.
enhance their maps.
Let us talk
Perhaps
to you.
you'll use all scarabs, all flames,
Yeah,
or maybe
thank you
mix
for
and
having
match.
me.
It's up to you.
Of course.
The Mastermind's unique
my future
items have
tech wife.
also been improved. The veiled modifiers generated on these items are now from a custom pool exclusive to those uniques.
I'm not
Better
quite
Bind
familiar
Point,
with the first
for
one,
example,
but I'm
can now
familiar
have
with the
various
second one.
Spectre-specific outcomes, such as
The way
plus
we've
one
all
additional
played
Spectre.
the second one, but like never played with
Aside
each
from
other
improved
for
rewards
the
from the
second one.
Mastermind, all the safe house rewards have also been rebalanced. We've done a pass on the
Ooh.
crafting sprees at the end of many safe houses. For those who aren't aware how these crafting sprees work, well,
Yeah,
It's
you have
time
to
to end that.
there's a crafting bench with an item in it and a bunch of currency. There's a limited amount
and
of
you just-
time, and your only objective is to craft the best item possible before the time ends. One of the
I like how you have so many
Whoa.
mini
problems these have
games
is that they
inside Path
often
of
require
Exile.
you to have
Wait, this is
specific
actually
items
kind
on
of
hand
huge.
in order
That
to
way you
best
can't
maximize the
break
result.
your
But how are you supposed
your
to know
armor
that
that
beforehand?
hard.
In order to solve this, most of the crafting sprees now offer pre-generated items. This has
This is,
also
like,
allowed us to add much
huge.
more powerful crafting options in each spree. Let's take a look at a few
Okay.
examples. In this spree, a randomly generated amulet or ring will be waiting for you. Test your
Question.
crafting skill
Are we allowed
or
to
luck
receive
with
gold
this
donations from
reflecting
our
mist crafting
audience
spree.
when we play
And
Poe?
see if you can create something worthy
I
of
am
Kalandra's
accepting
praise.
unique items, chat. You can trade me unique items, and I will claim it as my own.
Me as well.
And in this spree, you will find
Now
a
accepting
pre-generated unique
millions.
item and a new kind of orb that resembles a Val orb, but not quite
I
the
can
same.
beg for items.
Consider it.
Normally, you can only corrupt an item once.
I'm not above begging.
But uniques in this spree can
A
be
generous
corrupted
donation.
and re-corrupted as many times as there are
What?
orbs.
You can re-corrupt an
This
item during
orb
this?
also allows you to get two
That's
corrupted
huge.
implicits and has a much lower chance to brick the item. It can be a very useful tool for seeking specific corrupted implicit outcomes.
What?
Of course,
When-
if you
when is
push your
that on
luck,
PoE
you can
2?
still ruin the item.
That's the good news,
There
is
are
you know
also
eventually
crafting
it will
sprees
come
where
there.
You still need to provide an item, but those items are generally more accessible.
That is
And
true.
it occurs less frequently. This one allows you to bring your own normal rarity item, then just go ballistic
Ooh.
with a whole ton of scouring orbs and orbs of chance,
I love
hoping
it.
to get your ideal
You're
unique.
just...
Wait, you can.
For most sprees,
What?
the rank of the syndicate member
You can
increases the
determine
amount of
what
currency
unique
provided,
almost.
the quality of the pre-generated items, and the time allowed to craft your item. Aside from the crafting sprees, there are other new options too. If you love gambling for currency, how about you try opening
Yo,
Varicci's
you had me at
Emperor's Luck
gambling.
chests? These work just like the Emperor's Luck divination card and provide full stacks of currency.
My brain tingles
you're
whenever
lucky
I
enough,
see these items
unlike
pop
me,
up.
You could end up with a whole lot of divines. Betrayal is a good
It
source of veiled
satisfies
items.
my
Veiled
ADHD.
items have some important quality of life improvements in this expansion too. All of the crafting bench options normally granted by unveiling items are instead now moved to the core game, so you don't need to run Betrayal to unlock them. They are instead found at the entrances to boss rooms and endgame maps. On top of that, you no longer need to speak to Jun to unveil items. You can just right-click them, or the
Oh.
equivalent on gamepad, and select which veiled modifier you want to unveil. Overall, Betrayal is now much more streamlined
Wait, so if
and
there's
more
more
rewarding.
items and more
Happy
classes, does that mean it's
interrogations.
harder to get what you want? drops.
well, you can basically use whatever whatever item you want on whichever,
Now, before
right?
we get into our quality of
If you
life,
have the
That is a good
stats
question.
for
Is
it,
it
though,
harder to
right?
talk
get your
about some
item?
character
Yeah.
balance. We will be doing our regular character balance changes where we are bringing outliers in line to help evolve the meta, but we are also focusing our attention on buffing some specific things. This includes spellcasting supports that specifically enhance self-casting builds, channeled spells,
Not really. You have
adding new
a lot
options
more
to the Guardian,
determinism. In what way?
Berserker, Elementalist, Saboteur, and Champion Ascendancy classes, which include some favorites from some of the alternate classes from Legacy of Frisia, and buffing a whole bunch of
There are
transfigured
ways
gems
to
that
target
never really
farm
hit the
stuff.
mark. Combined with the new
More
in-game
loot means better
crafting,
market, easier to get
improved
what you
Betrayal
need.
crafting
Interesting.
options, rune graphs for your passive
Do
tree,
you still have like
new
8
pinnacle unique
ascendancy
items,
points?
new modifiers and Trathan gems from the mercenaries, and of course the mercenaries themselves to act as an
Yuzu and I get
extension to
into
your
hobbies
character.
at completely
It's
different
safe
levels.
to say there's a lot of new character options and builds to think about. Instead of delving into all of these in more detail, we figured we'd
I
just
love
let you
it.
absorb them through the patch notes.
Wait,
so
didn't
you
they
can do
also
it at your own
introduce new
pace.
Talk to me
ascendancies
about your
recently?
In the
hobbies.
Secrets of the Atlas
Tell me more.
expansion, we've also added a lot of the quality of life features that we know you've all been asking for. A lot of these have already been posted, but let's take a look now in case you
Oh.
missed any. You can now pause the game at any time by pressing escape to open the menu.
Sorry, what did you
or
say,
by opening
Yuzu?
any full screen interface,
Oh,
like the passive tree.
I was just wondering if
You'll also be
I feel
paused
like
if any lag
I
is
remember them
detected
releasing
or if
new
you disconnect.
ascendancies.
It's worth noting that in certain
somebody said it was
pinnacle
an event.
arenas, a debuff will be
Oh.
applied to you that prevents you from pausing. We're also making a change to how you use currency items on strongboxes and monsters imprisoned in essences. Based on the currency in your inventory and the state of the strongbox, these buttons will appear. Valuable currency
Pausing the
like divine orbs have been
game.
excluded from this as it would often be wasteful to use in this context. The same applies
Not
to
on my
essences
watch.
with the remnant of corruption currency.
Pause
Orbs of
on
Horizon
disconnect
have been
is huge.
updated.
Yup.
They can now re-roll
Yup.
your Elder and
No
conquer a Guardian
pausing,
maps.
only keeping it
Doing
going.
so will re-roll
Well,
the
if you
base map and the
disconnect.
Guardian of that map.
That's some
The map
coward
device now has
type
a small
beat.
additional
Okay,
inventory.
fair enough.
This is
Disconnect.
particularly useful
My
if you're
internet
rolling
not
many maps to
good.
run in sequence, or if you want to use varying amounts of scarabs or other map fragments. During breach encounters, all the splinters will be automatically collected and dropped at the end of the breach. On gamepads, we have separated the targeting of monsters and non-monsters.
I bet that's going
so
to
you are
throw
able to
so many
target them
players off
independently.
who have played this game for
This
so
removes
many
a bunch of
years.
frustration when you are trying to interact with objects in the world and monsters are nearby. You no
Wait,
longer
he's
have to
playing on
kill
a
all of them
controller.
first. Vendor
He
windows
is.
will now
Wait,
remember your
what?
last search.
That's gonna be us.
This is
now.
remembered until you log out and is remembered on a per NPC basis.
The pause felt natural in Path of Exile
The amount
too.
of characters you
I
can
like
type in the
pausing.
search field has also
I
been
need to
increased.
pee sometimes.
When using currency items, after right-clicking them, it will highlight all other items which that currency can be used on. There are many other quality of life improvements, so keep an eye on the patch notes after this livestream concludes.
This
Alongside
is a
the launch of
crazy.
Secrets of the Atlas, we are
freaking-
hosting a
oh my
competitive
God.
event where players will race to be the first to kill the new pinnacle bosses. The event will take place in the hardcore, solo self-found
That's a lot of
Mercenaries of
updates.
Trathus League.
Oh wow.
We have some interesting prizes in store for the winners. Keep an eye on the news and the lead up to launch for more
$100,000
details about
for
how the
the
event
people
will
who
work
kill it
and what its
first.
prizes are.
Which will be us, obviously.
Next up,
Obviously,
we're going
yeah,
to be
yeah.
talking about our new League supporter packs. Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs.
Yeah.
The Frisian Magistrate and Crypt Keeper
This is
packs.
all free.
Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several
I
exclusive
don't know about the supporter
microtransactions.
packs though.
As
Supporter
always, the
packs! I wanna
microtransactions in
spend
these
my
packs are purely
money!
cosmetic
I
and
love
do not
supporter
affect your
packs.
character's
This
power
is like
or
my favorite
progression
part
in
every
any way.
time.
The Frisian Magistrate
my
series
money!
of supporter packs contains
Oh, that
6
pet is so
exclusive
cute.
microtransactions.
You're getting this big expansion so for free.
The Frisian
So,
Magistrate character effect will bind your character
Your
with
what?
thorny vines and roses. You can select which parts of the character
Zenny,
you
could
want
you
to
repeat
have
that?
covered. Either your entire
getting the
body,
expansion
your
for
lower
free.
body, or your upper body. As you approach waypoints, it
Well,
will
the whole
emit
game is
leaves
free.
and golden petals
a
towards
little
it.
support doesn't
When
hurt.
activating the waypoint,
Oh, that's what you
it
were
will
saying.
create a
Sorry, I was
burst around
confused.
you.
Go on, chat. Go on. Buy
Envelop
a
your weapon
supporter
in thorny
pack.
vines and
You
golden
also
flora
get
with the Frisian
currency too to
Magistrate
buy
weapon
more
effect.
cosmetics
Your weapon
if
will
you get a
also
supporter
create a
pack.
trail to match as you swing, and even comes with its own hit effect when slaying enemies.
And
You are the law.
if you want to get an
while wearing
upgraded
the
supporter
armor of the
pack, it
powerful
only
Frisian Grand
costs the
Magistrate.
difference of what you previously paid.
The Spider Blossom pet activates its defense mechanism, disguising it as an elegant flower when near rare or unique enemies. The Frisian Imperial Magistrate back attachment comes in 2 forms.
Wow.
Either the Tombstone variant, which will leave
Oh,
tombstones in your
that
honor
looks
when
cool.
you meet your demise, or equip the Cape
I
variant
bought
to cause the corpses of slain
$480.
enemies to become enveloped in rose
How much money has
vines
everybody
and
spent
blossom
on this
with
game?
golden flowers.
I
Please,
think I
I wanna
spent
know
like
how
200
much.
already.
Keep track
Really?
of how well
I think I only
On
spent like
POE2.
$50
your
on POE2.
ultimatums with the Trial Master
Yeah,
have gone.
I
with
think
the
me as
Trials
well.
Of Chaos hideout decoration.
200?
It will keep track of
Somebody
the
said
total number of
1,500
waves completed,
euro.
the total number
I think
of
about
ultimatums
200.
succeeded,
Yeah.
or even failed. On top
Y'all
of that,
Because,
it will
like,
track the
I
total number of
I
times
wanted
you've
to buy
Somebody
defeated the
said
another
Trial Master
cosmetic,
6,000.
so I just bought the supporter
The
pack.
Crypt Keeper Pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Okay, is it me or did he set
With
it
the
like
Crypt
set?
Keeper finisher effect,
I heard that
Death
too. I didn't want to
itself
say
will
it.
enter into the realm
I'm
of the living
sponsored. I
I'm
didn't
like,
want to
steal
say
the
it.
soul of slain unique enemies.
Your brother spent
The Crypt
6,000
Keeper
euro?
portal effect creates a gateway for lost souls to pass
That's
through.
crazy.
Wait, I have a brother. Huh.
Wait,
Become
Oh.
the true master of the undead by wearing the hallowed Crypt
friend of
Keeper
mine guessed he
armor set.
spent 400,
It comes with
but
a
he
more
spent
armored
3,000.
helmet
Oh no, I'm
variant
reading what
and a
the
creepy
viewers are
mask
saying.
with a spectral hood.
I don't have a brother.
Looking to have some fun during idle time in your hideout? The
Oh no.
burrowing bramble
Somebody
Village
from my
hideout
chat
decoration
said
they
will
spent
test your reaction
6,000.
speed as you
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to
somebody
whack
in my
as
chat
many
said they
devour
spent
heads as
6,000
possible
euro.
in the shortest time.
I have a friend
It
that
also comes
spent
with a scoreboard,
5,000
so you
on
can try to set new
POE1.
records to show off to your friends or just visitors
mean,
coming to trade.
Okay, if you've been playing for
Equip
12
yourself with
years,
the ghostly dead as you
that's
guide
less
the
than
line between the
$500
living
a
and the
year.
dead
It's
with
like
the
400
sacred
a year.
Crypt Keeper back
Yeah.
attachment.
He's a
The
long
Sacred
time veteran
Archives
of
map
I
Path
mean,
of
resembles
Exile.
if you
a
love the
magical
game,
library
I
with
mean,
the works
that's
of
just the
scholars that
love
come
you're
to
putting
life when
into
you
the
open a
game.
map.
Mm-hmm.
This map device tracks how many of each core league you've completed in in-game maps.
It's the same as like having
These
an
packs are now
That's
any
just
other
how it
hobby
is.
on both
and
PC
If you
spending on
love
your
a game
hobby.
that much or
and will
something
remain
like
so
that,
during Path
there's
of
nothing
Exile,
wrong with that.
Mercenaries of
Mhm.
Have you
Trust.
got the money to spend?
Additionally,
Go for
any
it.
microtransactions from the supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Meanwhile, the Paladin and Penance packs leave the store forever
Oh,
at
I
the
have the
launch
Paladin
of the
one.
Mercenaries of Trathus League. So now's your last chance to
Ooh.
purchase
Oh
them.
my god, look at those little beetles
Additionally,
on
the
the
Dawn
legs.
of the Hunt mystery box will be made
you guys
available for
see
Path of Exile 1. If you have
What?
already
They're
unlocked any
bringing Path of
microtransactions
Exile
from
2
this box in
box
Path
to
of Exile
1.
2, you
Let's
will
go.
of
It's the
course
bugs.
immediately have access to them in Path of Exile 1. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D.
Let's go, Ziggy.
Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile, Secrets of the Atlas.
This is
With release at the
crazy.
end of next week,
The fact that they're working on both games
our community
still
team will
doing
be
this
posting
is-
crucial
it blows my
information you'll
mind.
need for the release. Keep
My
an eye on the
favorite part
news.
about these is like seeing the patch notes afterwards and reading it, because like I
Mm-mm-mm.
love when I was in
Thanks for
Thailand,
joining us today
Dota
and
2
checking
came
out
out
our
with
latest
a
developments.
big
We're
patch, and I
looking
was like
forward to
reading the
dueling
patch notes while I was
mercenaries,
eating
fighting
lunch
new
with
pinnacle bosses in the
everyone.
endgame, and
You're just at lunch, they're trying to talk to you, you're like, shut up.
I'm
I'm
reading
reading the patch
patch notes. I love patch notes. I
exploring
love
the
it so
new
much.
crafting systems and character builds next week.
Shut up, guys. I'm
We'll
reading
begin the
patch
Q&A
notes.
shortly, so please get your questions ready.
Ziggy, where'd you get that name? What does Ziggy stand for? They must have a big dev team. Apparently they don't. Do we know how
Wait.
big their dev team is?
I have to reload the thing because it's stuttering.
Yeah, it also lagged for you, eh? It
Mm.
lagged for me.
Yeah, it's also doing that for me too.
Okay.
Okay. They probably reset something like moved cameras. Oh! Ziggy's on screen!
Wait, it's not
Apparently
loading.
it's happening to everybody in the chat.
It's also not loading for me too. Hold on.
I think their stream just crashed.
No.
No. Oh no, Ziggy, stop, please. Please. Yeah, somebody said it says
Or it's
handsome
like
face.
struggling to get the
That
live
lags.
recording.
There was a lot
Hold on, everybody. Okay, it's lagging for everybody. That's good.
of
Not
I think
that it's good that
pressure
it's lagging,
on
but
this
it's
one
good that
for
it's
you
lagging
guys.
for
Like
everybody.
it's been a long time since we've had a big
I'm glad it's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
The New
Path of Exile 1
Zealand
expansion, but
internet.
also, How did you guys feel going into this, and how do you feel
It
like you've
makes
been
me
able to
feel
deliver?
less alone.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like pretty
Oh,
happy
it's all us.
My problem is your problem.
with where we're at. Like,
Yep.
it isn't a, like, it isn't a full year of development because obviously
It's
PO
on
turned
their
to shop
end?
things a bit.
Okay,
But the main
good,
thing
good,
is
good.
we're kind of back in action now. We've like we've
I love
worked
how
out the
I'm
model
watching a
for how the
slideshow of
studio
them right now.
Yeah. Oh, little babies.
It's a
function
stop
doing
motion
They're gonna
stream.
get
and
it.
ultimately what it
I
requires is
believe
kind
in
of like
them.
merging the teams back together, kind of having everything so that like like everyone's able to work on
I
both
love
games,
stop motion
not
so much.
necessarily simultaneously for a given like person, but effectively we need sort of like our best people to be
I think that's gonna be like one of my favorite art styles. And craft.
I think so too, actually. It's very like
able to work on both games in order to
very
really make sure that they're
detailed
good.
usually.
And so, that effectively means that merge sort of approach is definitely way better. And so now we've kind of got that, and like, now that we're back to sort of fixing
A
deadlines
lot of
again
work
and everything
goes
like that, I
into
think it'll
it,
just
and
like go
it's
a
a
lot
very unique
smoother. And
style
like,
of doing
I'm pretty happy
capturing.
with like, effectively that we're kind
I'm
Gosh.
gonna reload this.
Oh, wait, did it? Okay, yeah. I was like, where's the music coming from? Okay, good. Wow.
Technical
Ladies,
difficulties.
Yeah, I think
They
what
knew
every
it.
class,
not
They knew
Bijou.
something was going to happen.
what class do you think you're gonna play, Zen, when, with Path of Exile 1?
Oh, to hell, man. Um,
That's a tough one. I'll probably do something
Path
that's
of Exile.
a warrior class.
I want to play the Templar
Oh,
class, or what was it called, chat? The one that's like holy vibes, paladin vibes.
You know what, ladies? I'll take
Oh,
one for the
I might do
team.
that too, though.
I'll be your archer then. I'll be your archer or your witch, okay? I'm taking
She's
one
like,
for the
fine, I guess I'll play the mage,
Fine.
whatever.
Fine, I guess I'll play the long range.
Fine.
Fine.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
There's also a secret class, I think it's called the Scion, that you can unlock like after you play the game a bit. And that's the
Yeah, the
class
one in the
that
middle.
people usually choose to be a aura kitten.
Or a kitten.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
not
want to
now,
be
my
I
aura
want to be an
kitten.
aura kitten.
Come here, my aura kitten.
Discord kitten.
Yeah. Oh, they're
He's like, "Here's
restarting
my
the
little
stream.
glove."
They're restarting it.
Nice. Good. We'll be here. I want to see what Ziggy has to say.
Templar can be aura kitten too, is what people are saying. Or guardian. I just want to be a support. Okay, I tried to be an aura kitten
They
in
got this.
Path of Exile
I believe
too.
in them.
Yeah, I hope that their internet's fine. That New Zealand ping is hitting right now.
Ooh. Well.
Oh, they did it okay. They
Do y'all think I have
restarted.
time to pee really quickly?
Yeah, you should probably do it now while they're fixing their internet.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. I'm peeing super quickly.
Yeah. I remember trying to make a Path of Exile 2 Aura Kitten, but they kept on nerfing like presence effects or like presence area effects. So like it was a little harder, but it still kind of worked to an extent. But I feel like being an Aura Kitten in 2 isn't as good as 1, because like in 2, you might as well just like do damage at that point. Oh, not me clicking on Quinn.
So wait. It's called Aura Kitten /.
Yeah, it's an
It's
Aura
called
Kitten.
Aura Kitten.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's called Aura Bot. I call it kitten because like, you know, I'm because it's cute.
You know what? I understand that.
Yeah, I just like being a support. I don't know why, even though it's like
I get it.
not effective.
Oh. Hello. I also got
Playing
a
a
sparkling
class
water.
that you enjoy is how you should be playing.
Agreed. And you can also try out. By the way, girls, it's back up, huh?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Here.
Ziggy's handsome little
I did
faces on the
ask the
screen.
question that after nearly a year since the last major Path of Exile release, it feels like there's, a fair bit of pressure on this one to be something pretty major.
what a cute
but also
studio,
to
what the
show that
heck?
you guys still love and care about Path of Exile 1 and have a future for it.
For sure, yeah. So, as I was just saying, I feel like we've kind of finally got our shit together as a studio now,
Man.
as I said in the intro.
I have to say,
So we've sort of
props to
changed
them
our
for
approach
keeping
with,
Path of Exile 1
we've
updated
merged the
and
development
alive.
teams back together. We've kind of got everyone on one floor in the middle layer, like all the developers. And now we're kind of making it so that,
Everybody
we're
like
effectively
that.
moving people, backwards and forwards from PoE 1 and 2.
I'm sure
sort
people
of,
still freaked
like,
out at the
as
beginning,
needed.
but
And that's
here they
definitely a
are
much better
showing you
structure
they're
for us
not
'cause
letting
it just
you.
means that we get, like all our best people can work on, whatever game needs it right now.
I think the one thing
we've always
that
worked well with like kind of the fixed
I've
in the
seen
past, sort of
them
the fixed deadline model
have
where it's like,
trouble with
we
is
have a fixed deadline.
when they
but,
work on
if
2,
we,
sometimes they
and
take
what's in the
feedback from
patch
1,
depends on
or like sometimes they
what's
take
ready by
feedback
the time
from
we get
2
there.
to 1, and
I
it's
think
like
that's just going to
they're
result in a
two
much better
completely
experience for
different
players. And
playstyle type
now that
of
we've kind of
games.
got that,
Like
I mean,
2
this
is
really
much
represents
slower,
what
1
we
is
can
much
deliver
faster.
sustainably, what we can deliver in 4 months, and so we'd
So
expect to see this kind of,
I'm curious
amount
to
of
see
content
how
every 4 months.
further development goes.
As we go forward, and for PoE 1 and 2 as well. So, now that things are back, I would say, like, we're kind of back in our stride again. Things should be going a lot
Technically,
smoother
Path
from
of
now.
Exile 2 isn't out yet. You
we're
are
back.
right. You're not wrong.
So back.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we're back.
I did feel like that. I feel
That
like the
is
reception's
true.
been very positive so far, and I've been having a bit of a chance to play around with mercenaries, which are exceeding my expectations in terms of like how fun and powerful they are. I feel like you guys have made them really powerful too. So
We've
Poe
honestly
2
been
was
talking
supposed
about
to be the
making a mercenary
4.0
for
update.
like probably 5 to 10 years. Like,
But
it's
the
been
Poe
one of
1
those
players
things
didn't like the
telling me about
idea, so
years.
they
Yeah,
separated it.
exactly.
Interesting.
Came up with the PoE2 Rogue Exiles, came
Yeah.
up during Settlers League,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just recent, a year ago, within the last year stuff.
you guys baited me pretty hard because last league you put out this system where you have these exiles that you send out on maps, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna gear them and all this stuff, and it's like, oh, I can't wait. That's what I've always wanted.
Is that
and then,
Ziggy?
It wasn't that, and I'm like, oh, now
That's
you're never gonna do
Ziggy,
that because
yeah.
you did this instead. And then literally next league, you do the mercenaries finally. So was it like waiting on something? Was there?
Is he a
something that needed
content
to happen
creator
there?
too?
I guess it was more just a question of having a good design for
I
how
don't
it can
know.
work. And,
What does
there was
Ziggy
a
do
couple of others.
exactly
One
for
thing
Path of
that
for
wasn't really
GGG?
mentioned in the video very much is that the mercenaries do count as
Do we
half a
know?
player for the purposes of drops and monster difficulty.
He's a
And
Path
so
of
that's gonna
Exile
kind of change
streamer.
the calculus a little bit.
What?
You're
That's so
effectively getting
cool.
9-player difficulty and loot,
Moist
which there
Critical,
is
you're
some
next.
differences to the way that
I am
that
not
works
quite
now,
sure, but that's so cool.
That's kind of one of
Yeah.
those things that if we just added
It's the one
mercenaries
that
without doing
GGG
something like
hires
that,
'cause
then it would
he's
mean
local.
that the game would be too easy.
Moist Critical
Wait,
the days
that's
we
why
I
get
know
off the
that
plane.
we've
name.
got that situation
I
going
think
on.
that's from
It
StarCraft.
means at
Who?
best, if you're
Ziggy?
a more bad build, bad character, new player, whatever you want to call
I
that.
think he actually did some other
they're
games
gonna
as
carry
well.
You probably,
Yeah.
or could carry you.
Ziggy.
And at worst, if you're,
I wonder if
the
it's the
power
same
of
guy or if it's
10,000
just another guy
gods
named
and have
Ziggy.
infinite
Ah.
everything and screen coverage and DPS, then they're just
I like
boosting your loot.
StarCraft.
Right, so there's a flaw there on
Pretty
either
sure
side
it's
that is
him.
just going to be beneficial to every single player. So
It sounds
no,
like
it was
absolute
him.
Beautiful chaos.
Whoa,
like
Zen, you're not wrong.
Exile,
We,
mercenaries.
our initial design had it that you could have up to 6 players, or
Zentreya knows
one
everything.
player and
Amelia.
well, I
For
guess
a
3
moment,
players and 3 mercenaries.
took
It
me a
was like
second,
mercenary takes
'cause
a
I know
player
I was
slot
gonna
is what we
play a
initially
little
That was
had.
the
bit of
initial way
that
to think
game
about
a
it. So I
while
think it
back.
wouldn't have been nearly as good because
We ended up
you want
going
the
away
mercenary
from
to be
that.
part of your build to kind of feel like it's actually it's like,
And people
it
told
comes
me
with, like,
about
auras
him.
and things like that. Like effectively that all becomes part of your build at that point. So it's kind of important that you don't have to sacrifice that when you're playing in a party
Yeah,
with
and
other
it
people.
didn't want to have the thing of like, okay, you join your 3
He
friends.
was young
and
in
then
StarCraft.
whose
Baby, he's
mercenary gets
young
used,
here.
or do
I am
do
looking
not
at
get
a
to have
young
my guy
man.
now, and I don't get, So it's
All
we
3 of
ended up
these
getting
men
away
are
from
young
that and just
men.
going everyone bring the merc, and which results in peak chaos. But it's fun.
And I mean, you can also have an animate guardian, and you did tell me that there's changes for that as well.
It looks like he's in his 20s.
Yes, of course you can have. In fact, I expect a
He
lot
does
of
look
people
so
to now
young.
have. You have your 6-player party with your 6 mercenaries and everyone with them animate guardian, because
So,
I mean, how can you add
if he's
mercenaries
been
and
playing
then have
this
a
game
point
for
to say
12
that they
years.
don't drop loot when they die? And
He's at least
also
30. He's at
not
least in
make
his
the same change
30s,
to
yeah.
animate guardian. However. If they do die in the instance, you can't bring them back.
He looks
so
so
at
young,
least there
little
is still
baby
that penalty
face.
to having them be weak. So if they just die at the start, they're gone.
Until you play another
It's going to result in a a lot more people using Animate Guardian in their build, but now you have to gear up your character, one Animate Guardian and one mercenary. So we'll have multiple mercenaries technically. So we'll see how the itemization and trade economy goes in that regard. And
Yeah, I mean that's kind of cool though. Is like having all that extra demand for gear and. That's,
I wonder
yeah, I
how
was
playing with the
sort of,
mercenaries
thinking
gonna
about
be
how I want to
like.
keep, some of the skill side for like the potential mercenary I was trying to find and things like that. But
He's 36.
adds a lot
If
to
I
that,
didn't
but,
know that, I think he was like
I did
early
want to
20s.
before
That's
we
crazy.
get stuck
Yeah,
into
he
some
has
of the
such
new
a
content,
baby
just kind of like
face.
help ease people who maybe are a little bit worried about the future of Path of Exile just a little bit more. So
Yeah, I'm worried
this
about
is
the
what you
future
hope to be
of
able to
Path of
deliver
Exile.
every
Talk to me.
4 months, and you've got a much more strict kind of like approach to that now. Where you were saying to me like, well, if this thing that you're talking
They want to do
about
this
is
much
not ready, then
content
it's not going anywhere.
every
exactly.
4
Whereas
months.
before you would push the date, I felt.
Exactly, 100%. So
You guys are
we've
crazy.
been in the kind of push the date mindset, I would say, for like a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And in the past, we were never like that. We were way more strict with it, and I think it was definitely beneficial to do that. The issue was it was so hard to develop PoE2 at the same time when we had all that stuff. So now that we're kind of like in the mode where we can support both with the release frequently, it means we can kind of go back to that model. And as I said, I think it'll just be way better.
we're I just want to make
they
sure
used to
we
do
are
every
always going to
3
be that
months.
whole like plus or minus 1 week flexibility because you have things
Sure,
like
sure. There
public
might be like a- yeah,
holidays,
exactly.
conventions,
Right.
clashes with things and all that. So obviously you get that just before we get held to the strict to the day 4 month thing. But yes, it is the goal. 100% you go back to that. I think there is it is very, very important that you have, as a player and a long-term player of a game, of which many of our players are, you have that consistency and you know
In
what
another
to expect.
aspect,
and
they
you can be
released
like, yes,
acts 5 to 10 at
I've
once.
played for my month, I've played
I
for my
love
2
that.
months. I know I can just
In another update.
stop for 2 or swap to the
Here
other
you go,
game.
guys.
do
Here's
that,
5
and then I
acts.
can know it's going to be
Enjoy.
coming again in 2 months.
I
instead
wonder
of
what
that
like
just
the
like
general
that unknown
consensus
is,
of, like,
is very sad. Honestly,
how
as a
Path of Exile
developer
1
and
players
as a
feel
player,
about
and,
2.
I
So
certainly don't want to do that
apparently,
ever
I
again.
imagine it has
according
its
to
whole
my
team
small
in terms of them, like,
audience
knowing, 'cause
pool,
it's hard to make
a
content.
lot
I
of people
imagine,
in
just
Path
not
of
have it
Exile
yet
1
shipped.
were upset
Like, 'cause
because they
it's
felt like
the
they were
days
going to
of
get,
shut
There's,
down.
it
like,
depends on the person.
not
Some people kind of
appreciated,
like
not taken
actually
care
prefer
of,
that
et
more.
cetera,
Some
et
people
cetera.
do really like the deadlines. It's
So
honestly
apparently
a
not very
variety.
happy.
Yeah, okay, bit of a mixture. And you mentioned blending the teams together. That's like a,
But what do
a
y'all
big
think?
change. Whereas before
Yeah.
you were
Please share your
explicitly trying to
opinion. I'm
separate them.
curious.
And
I
there was the
want
question
the
of like,
drama.
oh, there's problems.
I
with
want
that,
the
right?
Yeah, well, so I mean, we had problems when they were blended originally, like years ago, where PoE2 wasn't getting like kind of wasn't working because that deadline was so far out that it kind of
Yeah.
works. So we had to split the team to get PoE2 shipped at that point.
Ziggy D was
But,
the one that
now we're back
suggested
in,
these
like,
dev interviews
releasing
to
frequently,
GGG.
It just makes more sense to bring everyone back together
That's
again.
so cool.
And it keeps the expertise up and makes sure
Kapari
that,
needs to be a big
the
Hearthstone
games
guy. I
are,
remember that.
there's just technical
That's
things
awesome.
like making sure that the engine is like in sync for both games and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like, there's just so many elements that sort of make it better to have everyone merged together, I think.
I imagine it helps with the cross
A
pollination
lot of
between
people are
games. We just
saying
got pausing,
that
which is
PoE1
sure
one
players
of my
thought 2
most
was a little
wanted
too
quality of
slow.
life improvements. That's a phenomenal announcement. But I certainly see people asking about.
Mata
things
would
like
love reading the
WASD
Doom
and stuff like
posting
that, and
during
the
the
support
first
for the future
PO
is-
1 delayed
Fortunately,
post.
WASD just
After
can't
PO
really
2
happen
came
because-
out and
well,
they
okay.
did. Oh my
So
god.
I say that, but
Yeah.
this is the
This
thing,
is
right? So
the end of the
effectively, so in
beginning.
order for WASD
Sorry,
to
the
happen,
beginning of the end.
we would need to be able to change the rigs over to the PoE2 character rigs. In order for that to happen, we need to get all the micros ported over, and then we'd need to port
I mean,
all of
obviously
the
a
armors
game
from
that's been
PoE1
around
over
for
to those
12
rigs as well.
years
So it, like,
is
would be a really
superior
long-term
to
thing.
a
There
game
might
that's
be a
not
world
even
one
finished.
day where that can
Yeah.
happen,
But
it's certainly a long
at a certain
process to
point
get
I
too,
was
like
kinda
the
wondering
engine's
is, like, do
changed.
you
Them
envision
building
a
Path of
12
Exile
years
2 on a
Path of Exile
different
1
engine.
is, like,
12 years of
Yeah,
sorry.
content
That sort of
competing with like
massive
a game
effort.
in early
Yeah.
access
Hero
for
or something
sure.
like that.
Once we've got all the microtransactions,
But a
ported,
big
which we're
part
doing
is just
anyway,
making a game on a
then it
new
wouldn't be,
engine that's
so
like
bad.
They
I mean,
can
it'll be a
just do
lot,
more
but
stuff
not
with it.
like,
They can
you
go
know, not like
crazier on it.
completely
Yeah,
unreasonable.
it's
So
bound to
it's a thing that
happen.
could happen, but yeah, it's a lot of effort to get that feature.
Oh, it's
so,
the same engine? Never
The
mind.
main reason
I
I do it
assumed
isn't
they
even for
would
WASD.
use a different
it's
engine
because
12 years
we've
later,
been pretty
'cause
unable
why
to
wouldn't
make
you
new
build on a
combat
new engine?
animations for PoE1 for so
Right?
long due to all of the
That-
problems with the rigs. So if the main reason
Wait,
we do it
really?
is that
It's
we
not a
can
new
make,
engine?
like, new actual melee skills
People are
properly
saying
again.
they're
That would be the reason.
updating it.
So
But
yeah, I mean,
you'd
hopefully
have
we
to
can get
update
that.
the
It's just
engine.
it'll take a while though.
A lot of the skills you'll notice, and if people have been playing PoE1 for years, any of the new skills we add often just reuse the same animations.
Exactly.
And they're not exactly the most modern things in the world.
Yeah.
Not so much you can do with it now.
You don't get to do the cool custom flurries with like your
They
swords
build their
and
own engine and
combos
they
and all
keep
that kind
improving
of
it.
stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean, you still obviously have Cyclone, where you just spin in a circle, and if you remove all the effects from that, you're literally just on a pivot doing
You have to
something
take
that's a
in
little
mind
bit
to the
silly,
eyes of
but,
Path of Exile 1 players.
I mean,
Path of
am
Exile
keen to
2
do
was
it,
an
though, like,
update
it's
that
just
never
still
got
a
added to
topic.
Path of Exile 1
Yeah,
because they
It's,
complained.
I feel like I
Oh.
notice the kind of an increasing
I
disparity
know at
between
least
like
Jonathan
the
like
bosses in PoE
really
1
liked
kind
the
of, like,
idea
pushing
of 2,
further
which is
ahead
why he wanted
because you
it
have
so
a bit more freedom, I
badly.
guess, to
Yeah,
use
Jonathan.
more modern.
Well, the
I
bosses
love
are
you.
new, like new
Technology,
content,
they're
right? So
straight
yeah,
up
they
paid
get to just
Jonathan.
and the
So,
engine's the same, so you get to use all the modern tech
So
for,
that-
completely new content.
So
like
they're,
that.
they're looking like better and better and better. But
Yeah.
the players,
You need a
like,
nickname for
kind
him.
of
You need to be
staying a
like
bit
Joey
behind,
Man.
so
Don't
I'm
need to
Johnny
rig anything
boy.
to the bosses.
Yeah.
They don't need to equip 10,000 microtransactions, thankfully.
I think
Joey
it's
Man's
but-
good
that's a unique
though
challenge
that
for
they
you,
have
but it
these two
seems like you've
games
got a
because then
plan of
like
kinda, like,
they
how
can
to
actually
approach it potentially.
experiment
Sure.
and
Yeah, all right.
decide
So,
what is good, what's not
while we're on
good.
this kind of like frank discussion,
works
is
and
like
what
something that
doesn't.
people often have been mentioning is this idea that like maybe they love Path of Exile 1, but they're not that interested in Path of Exile 2. And they maybe feel like their money when they buy a supporter pack for Path of Exile 1 is going to a company that's developing both games, and one of those being something that they're maybe not that interested in.
Right.
You
Well, I
should
mean,
watch
like,
some of the original Path of
ultimately,
Exile 1 reveal.
um,
That could be
you
a
know,
fun
like now that
stream
we're
day
kind of in
one
the
day.
shared model, like it's kind of. It doesn't really. It's sort of hard for us to say, like, you know, that like money goes to one particular team or another. Like, it doesn't really work like that because we're all merged. The main thing is just to understand is that when we're in PoE 1 development mode, then PoE 1 takes precedence, and
Yep.
like any resource that it needs, like there's not going to be we can't do this because PoE 2 needs it. And when we're in PoE 2 development mode, it's like it's the opposite of that, right?
I
Where,
am
like, we've
so
got
bad with
that sort of going on.
accents
So there's always
that
going to be
the
people
whole
working on each
time
game, like
I was
all
like,
the time. But it's like if
They
one's
sound
gonna
a
come
little
out soon,
weird,
that
like, I
one's
don't
getting all
think I
the
know
attention.
this
So,
British
every
accent.
resource that PoE
This
1 could
whole
possibly
time.
need for this
Girl,
expansion
they're
was
from
moved
New
to it,
Zealand.
to make that
I
happen.
Yeah, I gotta say, the
know.
first time walking around, it was like 95% of people working
I'm
PoE 1
so
right
bad
now.
with
Right, in this moment
accents.
because it's in the last week, but yeah,
Yeah.
but it's kind of variable. Like, I mean, if you look
The
at
whole
things
time
like
I was like,
you know,
that's a
I mean,
quirky
you've probably got a
British
better idea of
accent.
the breakdown. It's like how much of the VFX
I'm
teams
so
working on
sorry.
PoE 1 versus 2 in like the last, you know.
Yeah, the whole all but one is currently on PoE. All but 2.
It sounds
Like you
more
said, it doesn't
British
really
than
make sense. They don't know how many
Australian
users.
accent.
Yeah.
does.
80% of the team is on PoE 1 right now.
Yeah. But it's kind of variable through the months.
But like, you
and
know,
stuff.
the dynamic thing is because obviously we had like
80% of the
OT1
team
for,
on PoE 1. You heard
PoE
that?
2 that we're working on, and like yesterday I moved some people onto that, quickly got some stuff across the line, literally 2 hours later moved them back, and like it's like pretty hyperactive,
Right.
Like, but honestly, that's kind of how our leadership style is. We kind of just we're a little bit crazy.
But I also think that developing 0 to 1 at the same time is kind of proof that it's possible, you know, like to make sure that we can actually support both games at the same
Yeah,
time
I mean,
with the
releasing
level of
something-
support we need. I mean, you know, there's those videos even that were made by the, you know,
Yeah.
like we're getting more people. It's like we can kind of manage it. So, you know,
I do feel like this is a positive upswing in that regard. Like, it was definitely a bit of wavering there for a while, but I meant
Yeah.
went from a 1-game studio to a 2-game
Yeah.
studio.
One,
so-
one thing to note, and this is you say about the bosses going up and the
Yeah.
characters, you know, saying this, like that is also because we are, you know, it is
The trait
very,
set is
very,
managed
very
by one
useful in the
intern.
same sense that certain
What?
game features get taken from one game to another. Like we see a lot of the quality of life stuff come to PoE 1.
One little
Those
guy.
bosses are, you know, animated or rigs from PoE 2 that we have like fully remodeled and reskinned. So you get to reuse that entire animation set. Sure, you got to tweak some stuff. But then, like, you can have one animation be 8 different skills if you know, put your mind to it and actually design the different outcomes.
Awesome.
So you end up with this thing
Thank
where,
you, Coney. Thank you.
you know, we're actually harvesting a lot of materials back from PoE 2 to 1. And this is how we're going to be able to get even more bosses, even more monsters, even more of that content just all the time. So
it's in ways where players can't tell though. Like it's really
yeah.
invisible.
I mean,
I love that you guys know
some
every
people might be able to
employee's
see
name.
that.
You're
Man,
like,
I feel like I've
no,
seen that
actually,
before, maybe, but
Rory
you'd have
is
to
no
look
longer
real
an
close and
intern.
be real
He's
into it.
he's a
And so
full-time
obviously, I
employee.
know me saying it removes the
I think
allure of it,
the
but like
team
it,
at GGG
it is like
is,
ultra
like,
ultra
such a
beneficial to be able to
good
harvest all that
example
art.
of like
And so you could look
a
at it
great
as like,
dev
oh,
team
that PoE2
with
art is
how
going PoE.
much
It's
the
not
community
like,
knows
all
its
of that. I'm
team.
just
Like,
constantly going, I'm going to
that's
take
a
that,
good
take that,
sign
take
that they're a
that, take
good
that,
team.
you know.
And the tech as well, of course, right? Like
Even though
any
some folks are
changes
saying
they're
that apparently
making,
the
like, all that
studio is
stuff, like,
120
to get to use it
people
all.
big.
Hopefully it's more of a positive thing. But I think to wrap it up, I think what it all really comes down to is people just want to know that they can feel confident that Path of Exile 1 has a future where you guys love it and giving it the attention that
It's,
it deserves.
the next year is going to be the year of Path of Exile, 100%, right?
I mean,
we're talking, what, every 4 months, both games? It's
Yeah.
every 2 months, 6
So
releases.
6 releases
like-
a year.
Thank you,
Wow.
Minnie.
Six
Thank you,
releases a
thank
year.
you.
That's going to be
Like, if you guys can pull that off for a year,
Ladies.
that's going to be wild.
I
I'm
have a
looking forward to it.
question.
But I mean,
Yes.
and to allay people's
How
concerns,
are
I
we
guess, in that
feeling
regard, is
about
you were
the
telling me
dev
that this
stream? We
expansion
don't
is
need
like
to keep watching it,
the-
but
the-
I'm
this is
vibing
part
with
of a
it. I want to see what
multi-season
Ziggy's got to
story
say.
arc.
Yeah, I don't mind listening
100%,
to them
like,
until
with,
they're
obviously you,
done. These
I-
are usually like the
there's a whole
more
bunch of good rants about
interesting
him.
portions
But,
because that you get to hear like
effectively, yeah, obviously you see Zana
Yeah,
coming
her
back.
I'm
you know,
opinions.
spoiler,
I
sorry,
am just
but
here with
kind
you
of was
guys
important.
now. My
Nice.
special
Awesome.
ship
Cool.
You know,
actually
you got
ended
Zana
like
coming back,
30
and
minutes
you've
ago, Mexico,
got,
so I'm here
Yeah.
with you
you know,
guys.
Same. I
It's
just,
an
like I
additive
said, I'm down
storyline
to
for
keep
now,
chilling
and it was
because
kind of on
I'm feeling
purpose
a little
because I wanted the
parasocial with them
endgame to
in a good
be
way.
Still familiar. I wanted people after coming back after almost a year to still have the core
Oh
of the
my.
endgame be familiar, but have this additive layer on top that's cool and new and they can explore. And I didn't want to like completely rework all the mechanics. And they come people are like, I want PoE1, finally a PoE1 expansion. They come back and they're like, the hell is this endgame? This isn't what I remember. This isn't what I was familiar with. So it was really important with this update to have a layer of familiarity across the board, and then like improved and reworked things and removing, obviously with Betrayal, we've removed a lot of the constraints and annoyance and all of that, but it's still mostly just additive stuff on top. Same with the end game. The League is obviously additive, the mercenaries. So having that there, so there's that core Path of Exile 1 familiarity, was important for this one. But yes, it is like part one of a new arc of the end game storyline. Zana's back. We've got a whole new thing
They're
to
one of a
explore.
handful of
I'm not
depths
gonna
that
spoil
actually
too much
communicate
of
with
what
their
exactly
community.
happens, but there's some cool shit in there. But
Feels like it.
effectively, it's like a way to think about it is we're now kind of we're gonna over obviously a relatively long
Mark
time.
used to be a
have
tester
the
at
era of
GGG,
the
and now he's a game
primordials
director.
Kind of phase
I
out
love
and
the
have
From Rags
era
to
of this new
Riches.
endgame
Let's
phase
go.
And so yeah, it's kind of set up for right now. It's an additive one. Maybe the next endgame one would be a bit more transformative, and then we'll go from there and just explore through this new storyline. So that'd be fun.
I can tell you're excited for like
I
the
just
future
really
of
like
Period
how
1, which is
receptive
this
they
is a
are.
good
Like,
shift, I think. And you were saying
there's,
you've even
like,
got
a
like
lot
a good
of
idea
things
for
that
326 that you really
the
want to.
community has
No,
raised
327,
concern over,
yes.
and
Oh,
then
sorry,
they're just
yeah,
like,
that's
yeah, we'll
excellent.
just
That's
implement that in the next
I
patch,
do,
and it's like
yes.
instant.
So
And
like,
it's like,
another thing with
wow,
this expansion,
you
right?
never
is,
get
like,
that
it's
often.
quite content heavy when
No.
you do an in-game
I
expansion.
did see
in
a few
League.
people
It's a lot of
say that,
content.
like,
Yep.
So, like,
oh,
you know,
they
you have
overpromise
some
a
things have
lot,
to take
and then
priority,
they
other
deliver
things
a
have
lot
to take less
slower.
priority, and so like
But
the character stuff.
if
where we've
that's like
done,
their biggest
you know, a
red
decent chunk of
flag,
character
is that
balance and the
they
new
think
systems
they
and
can
interact with
handle
all of
more,
that.
and then
You know,
they
there's
do it a lot
clearly
slower than
ones
they're
like,
supposed
I know
to.
Settlers had like just
Hey,
big
they are-
balance
they
and
are, like,
rework, and it changed
ambitious, which
1,000
is, like,
systems in drastic
not a
ways. And
bad
You kinda
thing,
think that,
but
though.
again, I
but,
wanted this
like,
time
yeah.
more familiarity.
They do-
and
they
then
are working on
327
two
we're gonna
games
go
now,
just
so it's,
ballistic
like,
on the characters
it's harder.
as much as we possibly can to
They
like,
only overpromise
you
with
know,
Path of
amp
Exile
that
too.
up
All
and
other
not, I
leagues
don't
they
know, maybe
usually deliver.
fully revamp
They always
wand
deliver
builds
slower,
and
but
create a
yeah.
whole new thing there, and now we have to because I said that. But you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, obviously you have ones that are more content centric, ones that are more character balance centric, and different focuses like that. So this one, content in game. We wanted our core players who have been playing for 10 years, the ones that are really looking for PoE, who are like mostly playing in the end game, to really have that like expansion and new boss fights. And
That was a discussion
Yeah,
we
they
had yesterday,
promised
actually,
a
was this
metric
idea
fucked
that,
on. Okay, well, we're
you,
not sponsored
don't
anymore. So
necessarily have to
a
worry
metric
about
F ton
new
ended
player
up delivering
onboarding as
just
much
an
Path
F
of Exile
ton.
1 now,
That's
but
still crazy.
more the focus
That's
for PoE 2.
still-
I would definitely say that, yeah, for PoE1, it's like it can easily, it's now very easy to just say, you know what, like if this isn't new player friendly, it's okay.
Oh my
Like,
God,
we're making a game for
Yuzu?
the experienced
Yes.
PoE1
What's
players,
that?
So like we
You
can
What's
go
that I'm
ham with all
seeing?
that
Yeah,
stuff.
you can
What,
kind of go
what?
into
You know,
What's
like
that
if
I'm
you're a new
seeing,
player, then
Yuzu?
PoE2 is
It's
obviously
letting
gonna
me
be
know
more
that you
appealing
got a
to
hype
people,
train.
so I imagine they're more likely
Well,
to
how
wanna
do
go
you
there.
know? What
But
the?
of course, PoE1 still,
It
you know,
shows
like,
me.
it's
It
still
says
like,
Yuzu
we're
has
not
a
gonna
hype
throw
train.
that away
Enable
completely,
shared
but it's
chat
like,
to
certainly in terms of the
collaborate
focus of the content,
reach
like
higher
a lot more
levels
sort of in-game
together.
stuff,
Whoa,
you know, the
what?
pinnacles, obviously,
We
and
can
things
share
like
a
that.
hype
Like, the stuff
train.
that appeals to someone who actually is able to get to
No
that
sharing.
content. So
That's
We're just gonna
crazy.
spoil you
of course, you still
instead.
got the league. The mercenaries. I think you were
Thank you,
initially when we
Martha.
first told you about it,
Thank
you seemed a
you.
little bit like, oh
Give
yeah, I
each
don't know how
other
big that's
some
going to
love.
be. But then when you actually
Yeah.
played it, it's like,
Oh,
you know,
what the?
it's quite a
I
thing.
was
What
yes,
the-
it was beyond
Give
what I
both of them
expected
gifted
playing
subs.
this,
What?
because I
No,
so
give
I brought up
some
against
to
watching
Mata,
the
and
reveals
Zen is
that
literally
I
doing
felt
a
like there was a bit of a
subathon.
gap, some disparity in kind of what you revealed.
Hello?
So I got the sense of like what was
Thank you,
Atlas
Martha,
versus Mercenaries
for
and Travis. You know, I had some
Open up
concerns.
your-
I
was
don't
like,
know what
okay,
you're
so the
talking
Mercenaries
about.
thing seems like really awesome, and that kind of is like by the time you get to endgame, you've
Open up
kind
your
of
little
started
coin
to
purses.
explore a lot of that. And you know, there's still more progression beyond that, but that's like it's not necessarily like a ton of new content for that that mechanic.
Oh, and you're getting
beyond that.
drops.
And
Get
then you've got
rewards
this
for watching
new,
Yuzu while they're
Secrets of the
live.
Atlas system, which
Ooh.
starts at tier
Thank
How
14.
long are the
you,
drops
Zachary.
today?
Game pinnacle content
Gamer
focus.
dude, thank
So
you
I'm
for the
like, it feels like
5
there's kind of a gap there
gifted.
between tier 1 and 14.
Orpheus, thank you
But
for the
mentioned
5 gifted.
yesterday
I
after that
appreciate
discussion
it.
maybe you've
Look
changed
what
it.
you started,
I initially was
Martha,
like,
gifting.
you know, people are coming back after a long
You-
Y'all
time.
have to watch for
They're gonna come
45
back,
minutes
and
to
yeah,
claim
some
the
people have been
reward
playing,
Skull of
but, like, the
Undead.
majority of people haven't.
Me,
So
So-
come back, get to
Favorite,
that
thank you
in-game
for the
and be
20
like,
Skull of
gifted.
Death.
Right,
Come
let's
on.
get my footing back.
Thank you.
Hurry.
Figure things out.
Make sure you
Obviously,
get your
Settlers
drops.
is there, but I
Turn
understand
Don't
a lot
forget
of
to
people
claim
experienced
your
this
Skull
last
of on
year,
Death
so there's no
drops for
future
watching our
news.
channels
There's a
for
little bit
45
going on
minutes, my
there.
loves.
You've obviously got Betrayal.
Morpheus, thank you for
and
the
then, yes, we have
subby.
our whole, like,
I'm
certain
gonna be
scarabs
using
up,
your
certain scarabs
gifteds
down
to
kind
buy
of
myself
balance, which I will
medicine.
note, by the way, only
And
a
tea
portion of which will be in the
after
initial
the
set of
stream.
patch notes. We'll have more scarab
Thank
changes
you.
coming soon.
As Zen
Also
demands, we
expansions to be
deliver.
announced.
people
Thank you,
who, ideally
Turbo.
our Peer 1
Appreciate it.
players know by now, we get a little bit feral and we just go
Thanks,
to
Ray.
the end. We go till Friday of the
Yep.
release date for our
I'd
balance
much rather have a
changes, so
game company
not
underestimate the
everything
time
is
it
there,
takes to
but
make
What the
a game
hell,
and then have to
Mata?
take
Of it is.
longer and just publish
But,
it on the deadline. Agreed.
you know,
Agreed,
there's all those
Captain.
changes, and I thought,
Listen,
yeah, it's all
I
good.
just
What
want it
we'll
to
do
be
is
number
aim for the
one.
people who really want new
Casually
pinnacle fights.
just
Like,
gifting
when we ended the tier 17s, they
subs
were
to
a
be
bridge
number
between
one.
pinnacle
You're
and
crazy.
pinnacles.
I just
So they
wanted to be
weren't even
number
the kind
one.
of highest tier of
Okay,
difficulty in
then.
All right,
the game.
everybody, no pressure.
And
But you
you
have
could
6
argue
more
these
hours
aren't
to watch
either, 'cause they're
45
It's what
minutes
you
of Path of
deserve.
Exile.
a step above the existing
You're too
pinnacles,
nice
and they're a
to
bit
me.
harder. That being
Watching
said,
on
of
YouTube,
course,
no
just to
call from me,
clarify,
just
there is
open
a
the comment,
quest
friend.
version of
Thank
them
you.
where it is you get to tier 14s and you will find them deterministically and get through 3 of them, all 3 of them, just for the
bosses.
narrative. You get to explore
I like
that.
the
They're
word
easier balance.
deterministically.
And then
I'm gonna
you
start
get
using
into
Shadow,
that.
what the
where you get the true
fuck?
rewards
Yeah.
and the true, difficulty test. But
Mata,
yeah, as
look what you
pointed out,
did.
I thought that'd be alright, and then
Look what you
did.
did.
You were like, but what
didn't
about
do anything.
between tier 1 and 4?
Zed,
why didn't you
Covering
say you
And
had
it was
a
like,
golden
the
hype
content?
train?
Yeah,
Shadow,
fair enough.
thank you for the
So
100
yeah, we made some changes,
gifted.
of course, and
Thank
as much as now
you.
it's
Is
that
the
that
live
golden
DLCs, we're
one?
introducing it at high
Thank
tier
you.
maps.
Hey
That
God,
is
it's
where
me
the
again.
story is
Wait,
introduced.
Zed has
so
a
to
golden
speak.
one?
hype
We're
Why
now
aren't you
adding
Zed has a
extra
golden
gifting
one!
subs
stuff
to Zed?
beforehand,
What do
like
you
more tier
mean?
3
What do you
maps.
mean,
Where
Zed?
now,
didn't say
you're finding
anything!
those memory influenced maps, or the influenced by the
Arkansas
originator, as
didn't
it
worry,
said.
good luck.
You're getting
Thank
the
you,
memory strand items,
Shadow.
which are
I
very,
just
actually
wanted
very
you guys
useful
to get
for
gifted
actually
subs.
finding
Yeah,
like
that's
good
awesome.
item drops and
Don't
crafting
worry,
as you're going
Zen.
through the in-game.
We are
and so you're getting
spoiled
that all the
enough.
way through.
Hey God, it's
It's
me
your
again.
And then, yeah, once you get to the higher tier maps is when you get into the
Time
actual
for
pinnacle
Zen.
storyline
You're
of
not.
with the new 3
Time
You
for
really
people
are
to
not.
show Zen
so yeah, I
love.
mean, look, straight up, it was just like a, what we thought was good oversight, but like this is always what happens. I think even Jonathan mentioned earlier.
You
is
guys
I
that,
are
love that.
very sweet.
you know, when we have these podcasts
Thank you very
and
much.
interviews, it's just like
course
half the time
you
we
do.
end up discussing stuff that we're then going
Oversight.
to go and change the day after or the day of, and that's exactly
Something
what
always
we're
comes
doing.
out of
Okay,
the
I don't
Q&A.
think I
You
can
usually
compete
do
with
some sort of
Shadow.
live development during
I
the-
mean, there's so much that like to not and
I don't think
happening
I
so
can gift
rapidly
100.
Yeah.
and coming
Sorry.
together
She
very
just
much.
wanted to
My
be
wallet is
together at
closed.
the end. It's impossible to.
I want
to
it to be
really
first, but not like
have
that.
your eye on
He
everything
wanted
and
to
not
beat
miss
you,
like
and
some
he
things. And you
Yeah,
know,
he
even
beat
we
me.
always
How
even
did it
often
feel?
miss things, and then it goes live, and then we address it then as well, and stuff like that.
Oh,
right?
no,
It's just like
you
very,
don't.
very very crazy.
I
But
don't think I
again,
can be
that's,
first on Zens
I
either.
kind of think that's the magic to it, and
Where
what
the heck
allows us to
is?
do so much in so little time. But it is also the thing as well.
will be
that's gonna
buying
result in,
Dayquil
the
after
6
this with that
expansions coming
money.
in the next year for the combined
Yeah,
game,
Zen,
so.
she got sick on
So
her trip.
now, like
She got
the state of
Michi
it
sick.
Looks like veteran players are
No,
going to be,
it was Show.
exploring
Show
new
did that.
areas,
Show
they're
did
leveling
that.
Up. They're going to be going into the end game,
Zen,
kitting out,
what
trying
the
to find
hell?
ideal mercenaries, gearing them up.
Oh,
sorting
hell
them
no.
I
around,
swear that's how it
starting to
always
interact
goes.
with memory
Somebody
packs of
goes
memory
out to a
drop memory
convention or
enforced maps, they
something.
drop memory
You come
enforced
back and
items
you
that they can
always get
craft,
something.
which I'm excited about that as like a progression, that crafting
The
system.
way
with
y'all
the
are just
boosted craft.
casually
And that
It's
was,
just how
using,
it
like, a way of
goes.
kind of getting the
Zentreya!
tiering system into
Thank you for the
PUBG.
50
The
gifted.
initial
you,
idea
Zen.
there was like how
You
can
little
we get
shithead.
tier 2, tier 3,
I
tier 4, tier 5
appreciate you.
item drops from PoE 2
Show the
system
love.
into
Oopsies,
PoE
thank you
1,
for
and
the
it was
5
like, well,
gifted.
you know, why don't we just do it in the new in-game
Thank you,
system? And then
thank
we're like, well, we
you.
can have
I
more
just want to
granularity. It can
spoil
go all the way from 1
everybody.
to 100. There's not really much point not, and so you're finding better
You are
items.
too
Like every time you pick
kind.
up these items, it could have a set of full tier 1 modifiers. So that was the initial goal,
kind
and then you know it was
cyborg.
like, well, may as well. Like the crafting orbs can just consume it as well. Now it's worth getting into that specifically. The basic crafting orbs all consume it. And right now, like, we don't have fossils and harvest and stuff do it, but it is our intention to implement that. But it's
Oh
a
my
bit
God, I
scary.
have food delivery.
There's
Yum.
some,
Oh my God,
there's some
thank
OP there
you.
for sure, but I really like all those systems interacting and
Yes,
interweaving.
please.
Now, what we're finding right now is that you actually do that crafting first, then you consume the memory strands for, like, the final Exalt and final applications.
Oh,
And that is
wow.
something that is happening internally, and you're getting some pretty insane outcomes there.
Thank
It's
you,
guaranteed
Zen,
like a T1
for
mod
all
on
the
your final
gifted.
Exalts
What
and stuff
the
like that.
heck?
Thank
But,
you, Zen, and Mata,
Yeah,
and
if we were
chat.
to do it the other way
You
around, we'd
deserve
probably
it.
end up
Me.
having it be very much using all those systems. So before
Heck
we turn
yeah.
that on, obviously we're going to review every single thing and make sure we're definitely happy with everything because it is a very complicated
I
web
promise
of
I have protein in this salad.
craziness. But
Actually, that was a question I was wanting to ask. Was like, how do you even
Share
make
the
new
love.
crafting systems
Heck
for PoE1
yeah.
at this point? Like with all the various intricate. Do you just kind of like
Thank
make
you,
it and
Nintendo.
just
You
cross your fingers?
You just have to effectively
Send it.
just take the chance and just come up with what you can do. Because if you worried about literally everything, you'd never make anything.
Yeah.
So you have to. You
Oh
have to
man,
on some level.
if I'm
It's the
going
same
to
with
eat a
uniques,
salad,
it's the same
I
with
gotta have like the
character-
eggs
new
in it.
character systems.
I
There's
gotta
so
have the
many variables that
croutons,
you kinda
the
just
black
like,
olives
here's
or
the thing,
tomatoes. tomatoes.
Thank
Let's
you,
see
Lord
what-
Prophet.
I have a
let's see
lot
what
of tomatoes
happens.
in here.
Oh.
Honestly, Zen, I didn't make
That's kinda
this. I
broken.
just got my roommate just brought it for me.
I
but,
gotta
It's
get the
fun, though.
extra
It's
in
just
there.
fun.
So you've got this
I
progression
really
system
like
now, which
salads,
sounds phenomenal. It sounds
but
like a really
I always
nice
feel like
improvement to just
healthy eating
while
them, but
we're
then like
exploring the
I
various
remember
changes,
that
you've
I
done the things
drown
like
it in
the
dressing,
massive overhaul to
or like
Betrayal, for
balsamic
example,
vinaigrette or
and,
like
the new
Italian dressing.
scarabs,
I'm like,
those new systems
okay, this is probably
integration
not
of, like,
healthy.
The previous content's gone core. And then you get to tier 14, and then
I
it's like
swear when
new
I post
story
this
kicks
salad
in
to
with
y'all,
the
Momos,
Secrets
it
of the
doesn't look
Atlas,
like
the
there's any
memory system.
protein,
Oh,
but there's like
I'll-
a lot of
I'll
stuff.
lightly
I
top
like
it.
the idea of
If it's
those
too much,
memory
then, you know,
threads.
Yeah,
it
we had
kind
what
of
was
just doesn't
memories
become a
before.
solid anymore.
So that was like there was Alva's memory and all of that, and they had kind
Oh,
of different things.
here
You
I
couldn't
am, just,
juice
like,
them, but a lot
drinking
of some
the
of them gave
salad
pretty specific
dressing.
rewards, and a bunch of them were worth
Yeah,
absolutely
Zen,
It's a
sorry
soup.
my
Juicing kinda
salad's
meant
not
that they didn't
microwave.
have a good place in the end
I
game,
think
though.
you'd like
there
it
was only
more.
a couple that were
So,
kind of worthwhile.
we were like, we didn't really give that system justice, so like let's kind of use
I
that
like
as the
it with,
baseline for the new
bacon
memory
bits
threads.
and,
Except
like,
I still
we
have to
100%
do another
allow full
microwave
juicing.
salad.
Yep.
And make
Really?
them more
When?
unique. Have the ultra mods at the end of each run, and then have the new influence mechanic. And then what we did is we took all those memories and
Sometime
we were
within the
like,
next few days.
I think it was Octavian actually who
What's
suggested
a
it. Was like
microwave salad?
put all those on Kirak. And so all the
Yuzu.
Kirak missions that can
Kirak
now be
buff.
offered.
Zen only
since
eats your
Kirak
salads
also couldn't be
microwaved.
juiced,
You
Kirak
put a
Do you wanna tell
cold
the
salad
story?
can
in your
give you all of the
microwave
things
it.
that appeared on those memories before.
You're
Which
joking,
it
right?
gives him a unique thing that he didn't have before as well, and it can be more valued farming that.
good.
So
A
two
microwave
birds, one
salad.
stone.
You want some love? That's
Good
good.
suggestion.
Thanks, Octavian.
It was
And,
on a paper plate.
But yeah, effectively
you,
those,
Anand.
and then we're
Zen.
like, you know, those memory strands. We don't want it to just be I'm doing normal
I forgot,
mapping,
were you
normal
drunk?
mapping, normal
I
mapping. then
ended
you
up
find
getting
the
a
memory,
salad and
the
just put
memory
it all in the
with-
freaking
I've
microwave.
already tripped up
Yeah,
now.
it was like a pizza looking one.
It was for charity.
So memory threads.
You
Again, once you're
eat
playing, it's a bit more
microwave
clear.
salad.
But, I've got a bit of synonym thesaurus issues
did.
going on.
It was awful.
You're doing the memory threads, and it's like, well, we want to be able to do that experience.
was so
without just
fucking
having to go,
awful.
"Okay, I don't want to have to run a bunch of maps, get a thread, have some fun.
I just
and then, I'm
imagine
back
like
to
the lettuce
just,
being so
regular thing."
soggy.
So we're like,
Uh-huh.
well, once you finish the storyline, I won't
And everything
explain
being
exactly
warm,
how
like
that
warm
goes, 'cause
tomato.
it's-
It was
it's a big
soggy and disgusting.
you what those maps that you can find on that thread now will start dropping.
How is the pizza?
But it's T16s.
Yep.
And more frequency, and then but they will be rolling with tier
Fucking
17 multiple,
sucked.
and we're kind of calling
Really?
those
It actually looked not that bad.
because they are very close to T17s, and it's kind of honestly, I would say in some cases,
Oh,
if you get the
the
right
pizza
memory skills,
O
better than
from
T17s,
Good.
which I know has
Yeah.
been a huge
Thank
concern,
you,
and I agree with
Kyrene.
that, and I am finally,
Thank
hopefully.
you.
We can not have just the age
I
of
think if it didn't
T17s
have the
that
blue
count as
cheese, it would have
self-sustained,
been
you have to trade
absolutely
for, and a lot of
amazing.
frustration
It
there.
was
That's the-
already so
that's the
good.
hope. If it doesn't fully solve it, obviously it's still the intention to.
Yuzu Zen had asked me to put an ingredient on her pizza. I said durian.
There's a few issues
She couldn't
going
find
on there,
it, so it was
seems like, but,
pineapple.
you had
How
this,
do you
like,
feel about
area
pineapple
I
of
on
games and
pizza?
different
freaking
maps and
hate
everything, and
pineapple
then
pizza.
kind of
And you know what I hate
narrow that
more
down to,
than
what,
pineapple
four
on
maps
pizza?
instead.
When people
And,
call it
obviously it was
Hawaiian
presenting
pizza.
problems with both
Hawaiian
diversity.
I
pizza.
love Hawaiian
Pineapple
pizza.
is not even native to Hawaii.
Bossing way
I
to
love
get to
Hawaiian
the
pizza.
Ubers,
Yeah.
and it ended up being the
Don't ever
juicing,
say
and so
that.
then you have the people. You have a kind of
I love it.
economy clash between people who want to farm bosses
Yuzu, we
and
should
people
go
who
have
want to
Hawaiian
juice.
pizza.
No,
And I was like, okay, well,
it's
they were intended to be the
torture.
boss way. Whoops, you know. But
Thank you for showing me where
you
you're
know,
weak.
they were still kind of fun for both axes, you know, in some
Pineapple
regard.
on
minus
pizza
a
does
few
not-
little
is not
bits
a
and
thing.
pieces. Like,
It's not
obviously we had
real.
to
It
do some
can't hurt
changes
me.
to the mods, how they generated, like, you know, we'd certainly had some hiccups.
Thank
with
you
that
for
one
showing
the
me what
first time
button to
around.
push
I
to
love
hurt you.
But
People are
yeah,
saying-
It actually
then all of a
depends on
sudden
where you
now
get it
T16s
from.
are dead, you know?
To be fair,
So,
there are some
the
very
hope here,
decent
bring them
places
back.
that
You can
do
farm
it
them
good.
if you want, as with the originator influence on it, I
No,
believe
it doesn't
is what the
belong on
text said, or,
pizza.
you know,
I
what
love
call memory
pineapple.
influence or Zan
I had
influence,
peaches and
you know?
prosciutto on
All of
pizza
these
in
things,
Washington,
whatever,
D.C., and
they're
it was
influenced
amazing.
with a
Okay,
bunch of
that
red and blue
sounds good
stuff.
though. That sounds
I
get the
wouldn't
pairs,
do
you
it
get
from
the
Pizza
skills,
Hut or
you get
Domino's,
the div
but you've
card
got
you
to
want,
do
you
it
get the
from
farm
local
layout you
places
want,
and
you get to do the
authentic.
boss you want, and you
Great.
don't have to deal with,
So,
you know.
can you say somewhat
You wouldn't
definitively
even
if, like,
believe it,
juicing
but the
is gonna be
pizza
happening
I
in
made had
T16s
pineapple
again, or
on
is
it,
still
and
gonna
it
be
was so
T17s
good.
kids, or-
I believe
Again,
it.
if it
Not
didn't
sure.
have the blue cheese.
Currently, as far
Fucking
as I can tell,
almost
it
a
should
10
be
out
in
of
the
10.
16s, but I didn't want to
Wait,
make
you
it
don't
the
like blue
17s and just
cheese?
garbage.
I love blue
Yeah.
cheese.
So
You haven't taken a hard
you know, I
stance on
think
it, yeah.
I think especially with the right memory influence skills appearing, which you do.
Then
take a
show
bit
her
of a
your
gamble
tweet with
means
the
for,
that
theme
you
and
have an
song.
sometimes you get
acquired
really good ones,
taste.
and sometimes you get okay ones. That's part of the
Show
fun
her
when
your
you get
your
in. You're like,
pizza
oh,
tweet.
Here,
also got the
yeah,
epic one that
I can
revives
show you.
monsters, and I get all the loot
I'm
twice.
scared.
And then
Doubled.
when you get that kind of thing, it's going to be like, okay, this is just 100% better. Like, how
Pineapple
is
is just like such a
and then of course
strong
multiply that with all the
flavor.
flames
Like,
and
also, I
love it.
hate
you
when I
know,
order a
there's gonna
fruit
be some
bowl
madness
from like a
occurring.
restaurant
Not
and there's fucking
Necropolis tier
pineapples in there. Like,
madness,
why does
but
everyone
there will
love
be madness. We
pineapples?
have learned
Like,
from that a
pineapple
bit.
is
Don't you
just
worry
like
about
an
that.
okay
It
fruit.
was out of control
Wait,
on a level
I'm getting deja
unprecedented.
vu. We had this
But,
conversation.
you know,
Yeah, we
still
did.
Am I
no
crazy?
When we
tears
were
of madness.
What
when
do
we
we-
did that
There's a
the
question from chat
market
about,
simulator.
Atlas
In a
Mass's
dream.
skill tree and with
Okay, yeah.
expanding, like,
No,
with all these
we, I,
resources being added to
Zed,
it, is
we
that something
had
you
her and I
consider
had
as
this
to, like, how many points you
specific
end up getting and
conversation where
those
she was a
decisions, like,
freaking
in between
pineapple
games?
hater, and I was like, "Girl,
like
why
the
you
amount of
hating?"
points you get and the amount you can
Pineapple
invest
is
in a
just
given
okay.
tree
It's
loadout. I
not.
think
It's
that is
not
correct.
that good, but everyone loves
Like, we have-
pineapple.
She just
we
doesn't
did remove a little
understand.
bit of nodes and we have added some,
I
but
love how
wouldn't-
these
like,
sweet
we've
men
added
are
She's
new
not
talking
aware.
ways to
about
juice
the
via
game,
influence. We've
and
added
we're
new
like,
ways to,
"I hate
add
pineapple."
more
Yeah, well,
things
I
to the
love
flames and stuff
pineapple.
like that, and new multiplicative things going on there. I wouldn't also then want to just be like, here's another plus 20% on the tree as well. I think that choice matters.
This
I
is
like
why
that
when
that
my
choice
audience is
matters,
like, "I wish you had
and I
more
think you should
women
have to give up
conversations,"
some
I'm
All
like,
right,
"No,
get
you
some
don't."
dropping
do
it in
thing,
there.
or have one of your loadouts focus on that, and
Oscar,
two of the others focus on something
What
else.
the
Zen,
fuck?
did you
Something
tell
else that sounds like
Oscar
it's
that
gonna
you were
help
going to
is you
work
mentioned
out
to
with
me
him,
this
by the
idea
way?
that,
Or did you
might
just
be
surprise
getting
him?
more access to the content from the
Wait,
investment nodes you're
actually,
taking anyway
Zen,
via
this
spawns,
doesn't look
right?
I
too
surprised
bad.
him.
Oh
On
yeah,
nodes.
true. I mean,
Yeah.
it was more of a
It looks
SSF
really good.
feature, but it will
Like,
work
I
for
like the
everyone.
banana
That's what I
peppers.
freaking
The
said.
map device,
It was so good.
where you apply
Mine
Breach
is the
League
blue
and
cheese.
a bunch of the nodes on the
Yuzu.
Atlas tree that are like
Bacon or
chance
ham?
to have breaches in your maps.
If I
Both
didn't have
Pineapple?
also
blue
now increase
cheese,
the
it
chance
would
of
have
you
been
getting
so good.
scarabs of that league's
Yeah.
type. Which is
I
kind
like
of how
bacon.
PoE2 did it as well with their leagues.
But you
where,
know,
content to
chat
get
has
the
to
content
ruin
expedition
it
to get
so.
more expeditions.
Great.
It's the same thing here. We just wanted to push that a bit more, give a little bit more agency, and influence the scarabs you're getting. That way, you're getting more of the ones you want, because there are a lot of scarabs, of course.
I'm
and
so
you can
sorry
block
if
They
we
could have
talked
just
over
had the
them.
most
them, and you
amazing
can
pizza
invest in some
recipe.
others, and we're just like,
They would have
more
made an
agency is
amazing
better here,
recipe,
like, straight up,
but they
so
said,
may
here,
as well.
blue
And it just
cheese.
simply adds more value to the map device craft. So why not?
All right. I know we're jumping around topics a lot here, but let's just
They
kinda
were
do
so
the flow of
close
things.
to
But,
greatness.
on the mercenary topic, so you've designed these guys to be
So
good
close.
that everyone's going to want to use one, right? And that's like the right way to design it objectively. But it does raise the question as to
That
you
pizza
need to make
didn't
sure
look
that
I'm
too
going to make
bad.
that
they're
recipe
not
again,
abrasive
to be
use, but they're
honest.
fun to
Mine
use,
is
that
the
there's
blue
not
cheese.
necessarily problems where you
Actually,
feel like,
minus
I
the
have to use
pineapple
them.
though. I don't
So
like
how
the
do you go
pineapple.
about making
Without
sure
the
that's
blue
actually
cheese
better?
and a few other things.
What are you gonna take out?
Obviously, them increasing the
pineapple.
difficulty.
The pineapple was
like,
so good.
is a
Actually,
says
it
maybe
was
you don't
actually
want it
one of the best
necessarily.
parts of it.
You know,
I
maybe they're
love
not
you,
pulling
Zen.
their weight
You
on
know
a
who
boss
recommended
fight,
that
you know,
pineapple,
and stuff
right?
like that, making it actually harder because of the
Or if
life.
you don't have the right
you know,
mercenary,
or if
maybe.
you don't have the right mercenary, you don't have the right
It
gear
was
on
you.
them. Oh, these are factors.
Replace the
However,
pineapple with
generally,
more
they should
blue
be fun to
cheese.
have with you. You should want to engage with it. That is the league. If you're not playing in the league, or you don't want to engage with the league as much, you still got the endgame. You still got Betrayal.
Are there any
you
blue
still got,
cheese
you know,
enjoyers
the
in our
settlers,
chests?
all that stuff
I
is all still there. The
In our
character balance
chests?
changes. Everything's still there. It's just,
So much.
you know,
I eat
ideally
it.
you'd want to engage
like
with
with
the
Close
mercenaries.
enough.
They are generally more beneficial
Close.
than not. You would have to really over level them and not be upgrading them for them to
But I
start
also
being
eat
kinda
butter.
useless.
But
Like
the
I
item
slice
and
slices
combat
of butter
mechanic
and
with
eat them.
by itself is
Not a
also,
lot,
even if you're not
but a
hiring
few.
mercenary, there's still like
Understandable.
there's
I
sorts of
love
items
butter.
there.
Okay,
There's
Oh.
new
what do you,
things,
why
like
do you
mechanics
find
that
the
they've
blue
got going with
cheese so
that,
good?
like
What
even
is what
that
is the
part
flavor
is
that
a
does
thing
it
as
for
well.
you?
Well, something
It's
I
like-
didn't
it has like
realize
a-
from watching it and then
like
even
a
playing
like a
for a
kick
while
to
was
it.
that
Like it
you
has
guys
like
getting
a
pretty
Yeah.
much for
oomph
this, but
to it.
the when they have like the
I can't
currency
eat a
combat,
whole thing of blue
when you don't
cheese,
actually pick a
but I
currency
love
combat,
like
it
if I have a
doesn't
little
all the currency
avocado,
combat,
a little hard-boiled
yeah,
egg,
it's like
and blue
so-
cheese,
it
and I
was
just
a bit
use
juicier
those
than I
little
thought it
like
was,
tiny
actually,
baby
kind of a bit
spoons,
by surprise.
and I have a little piece of blue cheese,
Yeah.
then a little piece of avocado, then a little
That
piece of
but,
egg.
stank.
A
It
little
was
piece of-
interesting
oh,
creating
it Stanky.
You know, there's not many
It
leagues
just
where you
smells
get
bad. I
one
love
reward.
it.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously not that, not the currency pouch, but
I do
you,
think it's a saltiness though, for real.
AO item.
picking a single piece of gear.
It's like that kick.
so
it
we
just like
had to
punches
really
me in
think,
the
like-
mouth. I'm like,
It just
Yeah.
I
tastes
mean, you can
bitter
see
to
it, so you
me.
already get a pick from all the different slots.
do you like
But it was like, how
cilantro?
do we make sure that their gear is comparable to what a player would have, which is kind of you're identifying many.
It depends on what I'm going to put it on and how
So
much.
it's always better than average, and so we had to really
I
think
love
about what their gear
cilantro.
should and
Oh
what
my
their
God.
item should look like.
Yeah, I always drown my
it
food
to
in
be comparable to
cilantro when
something you
it
would actually
is.
want or have.
when they have the opportunity
it's rare to have a
to.
league where you actually only just get one item. Like, even
Those
ultimatum, you
aromatic
get one,
herbs
and
are
many
such
rounds
a
of
like
the
low
rose, you still get
calorie,
up
good
to
flavor
10,
thing.
I'll
That
put it in like
dill
certain
actual
soups or
ones.
in
Yeah,
a
to make sure it's
taco,
good, right?
but I
Yeah,
gotta put
and,
some onions with
It was
that as
actually
well
kind
to
of complicated
counterbalance
do,
it.
but,
Girls,
there's some
I
pretty
do have to say
powerful
this.
stuff you can get from that.
I
mean,
love
obviously
onions
the
and
uniques
garlic
are
so much,
relatively easy
especially the red
to put
onion.
in, but,
That like even
they do
after you
affect the
brush your
mercenaries in
teeth
some
and
pretty
floss,
crazy ways, but the,
when you burp the next day,
you know,
it will
rare
taste
items
like
and
red
stuff
onion
that, yeah,
for
it's a
like
little bit
2
complicated to
days
actually get that to feel
straight.
good,
Yeah.
such that you feel like
It doesn't matter how
like
much you
wanna
brush your
take that
teeth.
as opposed to
It
just
doesn't
always
matter
Oh
if
my.
you rinse.
Is,
But if you want to do that,
It's
go
like
ahead as well.
inside
was there
your
any
body.
kind of, just out of curiosity, was there any kind of thought on
The
Wait.
raw
as
red
to
onion.
what sort of items or what sort of mods they roll on their
Do you eat
items?
it like an
Do you know what I'm
apple?
talking
They
about?
have kind of specific builds.
How do you
Not
like eating
anymore.
raw
It is
onions?
relative to the
I
build
love
also,
eating
that.
yes, like
I
they're
put
like
raw red
30-something
onion in my
different
salad
archetypes, so
all
we
the
talked
time,
about,
and
like,
then
the
I have just
striker
disgusting
and I
onion
can't
breath.
remember the names of half Eruptor and stuff, but there are like 30-something of them, and
I'm being
there's
honest.
a Chaos Mage,
I like
and there's
pickled
ones with curses
onion.
and ones with auras and ones with I'm obviously listing all the
They're so
utility
easy to
stuff
make.
because I know
Templar.
Stinky.
that it's the aura bots of Trathus really is probably how a lot of people are going to see it.
No aura, exile.
That is like
But actually, there's a lot of there's a lot of custom
Garlic
skills in there.
too.
They're not entirely player
I
skills.
eat so much
Yeah,
garlic.
I know we
Wow.
touched on the Trathus skills, but we like only showed this. I think there's maybe between.
Then do you not
around
put cilantro
16
and
of
onion
them.
on
Some
your
of them
taco?
are
Those,
like-
right?
They
Said-
can just be
said
in their
she
little
does that.
pouch, and you
And
can
you can just take,
Oh,
take one.
pick
I
them, and
absolutely
you defeat them,
do.
they drop it, and you get it, and it's a new. So it's kind of like a transfigured gem in a way, but it's a Trathan gem, and it's just a. So
It
that's a way of
actually
delivering a
tastes
bunch of new
super
skills, and
freaking good.
you have, I know you have like Blood Storm Call, which is like physical that creates a blood dot. So you maybe want to add, so there might be some.
You should
builds
put
that wanna
pineapple
do
on your
that.
taco
There's,
sometime.
like, new
Pineapple and
spectral
onion
shield
is pretty
throws
good
and a whole
together.
bunch of different things. We saw
I
the
swear
Siege
you're doing
Ballista
that
in
to
the live
torture
stream, but
me.
there's certainly a whole bunch of them.
I swear you're
there's
just
a
saying that
kind of
shit.
Incinerate-based blast ray. Blast rain was it? Yeah, like arrow comes down, does a wave of almost like an incinerate wave out of it and stuff like that. So like
Had some fun with that.
spoiling a bunch of them, but it's only 4 or so. But yeah, there's heaps of different skills.
You can
there, which is pretty
actually-
cool.
Okay, so
But then they also just have like kind of high cooldown and different passive skills and stuff like that as well. So like there's a lot
She's
of
gonna
stuff
be
that
like,
goes
you
on.
should put pineapple in your lasagna.
Yeah, possibly.
technically mix up a taco with pineapple in it. Would come out pretty good.
It was a 42-minute presentation. Like it's all right. Give a taste. Let people find a lot of cool stuff.
But
I'm
hear me
trying to
out.
think what would counterbalance with the
In terms of
pineapple
making it
too.
fun to like manage and hire and things like that. If you'd asked me
In-
before
in
playing
tacos
it,
or
I would've
where?
said like, oh yeah, you want to be able to like spend some sort of passives on
In
it or something like that.
tacos,
But then actually
yeah.
after playing it, I was like, oh, it's kind of good that you didn't go
Onion.
to that level because then there's no lock in with them. You can change.
You should put
yeah.
pineapple on
Sorry.
pineapple.
Yeah, and
When
a
did
bit
our
too much tedious upkeep.
Somebody said, why don't
Not
you
an
put
onion.
micromanagement on this.
pineapple
so,
in
like,
lasagna?
yeah,
But like, why don't you
won't
put
have to do that
pineapple
too
in
often.
lasagna?
No, no,
They don't
no,
really-
we're not doing this.
They have a passive tree behind the scenes. You just don't get to
Yuzu.
see it or engage with it.
I'm gonna invite you to my house one day. I'll be like, we're doing a stream, and it's just gonna be tasting pineapple in 20 different ways.
I'll pass a yeah, that will work.
Secret proprietary.
Yeah. I mean, they gain stats as they level up, and it's kind of relative to the archetype, and there's some stuff going on. But you don't need to care about
She's
that.
gonna
It's
invite me
just-
for
as far
dinner
as you know, they're
when
higher
I
level,
when I
they've made
visit, and
somewhat
then
intelligent
all of
decisions
the
about
all
their
of the
passive points
food
and
options
whatnot,
is
and
gonna
they're
have
pretty good.
pineapple in it.
Of course,
It's
some
gonna
are
be a
better than
pizza,
others,
but the
some will be
pizza
good for
crust
your
is
build,
pineapple.
Much like you
All
will
the
have,
toppings
here's
are
the meta
pineapple, but like
ascendancies
cut
for
in
a
different
league.
pieces.
Probably those.
And then
Meta
she's gonna have a
ascendancies
cake for
Wait,
as the
dessert.
meta
Yuzu?
mercenary for the league,
What's your
and so
favorite
on and
type
so
of
forth.
Yeah,
pizza?
it'll be matched to your builds.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty
I like
crazy, I suspect, in
Sicilian
the end. It's like,
pizza.
as much as it's pretty simple to
Is
just
that the one
arrange
with the
them, there's gonna be
sausages
a
on
lot
it?
of little,
Yeah.
Sicilian.
minor
Yeah.
complexities.
That's Paul Path of building, guys.
I was gonna say, like,
Pizza.
Yuzu is a sausage lover. It's true.
I do love sausage. I don't like mushrooms on my pizza though.
And various other buffing skills.
Those
I had
actually
Templar,
could
like
come
an
out
aura, and
pretty
you had the,
good.
what is it, the
Yeah.
Smite with the lightning aura
Your
from it.
meta build, then for that you need your 3 meta mercenaries,
like-
and then your meta
I have
guardian. And
an
then you've
acquired
got,
taste for
you know,
mushrooms.
like,
Like I used to
oh
hate
my
it,
God,
but like
so
now
many
I
of
like
them. At
mushrooms.
least
But I
a
don't
lot
like it
more
on
items will be getting
pizza.
put to use, so
No,
that's good.
I'll be
I get
curious to
that.
see how the Animate Guardian feels because I don't know, like that one has obviously the skill gem cost
Love
as well,
mushrooms
potentially, like,
everywhere.
some bullets and
Definitely
things
get
like
that.
Of course, but
So that's obviously a bit more of a tax, whereas these guys are just a free.
I
add-on
think
on
it's
top,
like
you don't
the
cost
texture that
anything things
throws
that
me
would go
off.
up.
It like
Yeah,
has a weird
I like
rubbery
mushrooms.
texture.
you
Yeah,
intentionally
on
didn't go for an
certain
upbeat
things
fast one,
too.
which I noted.
Yeah.
The texture is my favorite
you
part.
already earned there.
Ah.
You still got to pay them a
Oh,
little
they're
bit.
so good.
But you defeated them. You don't need
Yeah.
to pay them by the hour
There's a
anymore.
gold cost
We
if they
harvest
die,
a lot lot of
Actually,
our
I
mushrooms.
found
Like
I
it's
had a
very
couple die
Eastern
early on,
European
but
to
then
harvest
they were mostly-
mushrooms and make like
especially if I picked good
mushrooms
ones, I was
and
staying alive.
butter.
Like I had one guy that
I'm trying to find a picture.
was ridiculously tanky.
I
and
like
then
good.
someone
There's
had, like,
this
4K
type of
life, and this guy
mushroom
had, like vitality
that
and
like
enduring cry
Italian
and,
food
you know,
likes to
like a
put on
fizzler
their,
and mortal
their
cold and things like that. I'm like, oh, yeah,
pasta
that's
that like it kind of
better
tastes
than
like
me.
bacon. It's like crispy, crispy mushroom
It's
that
true.
tastes like
Yeah,
bacon.
often
So
you might find
mushrooms
yourself
just kind of
aspiring to
absorb the
become more
flavor
like
of
a
everything
mercenary.
around it
Yes.
all the
Well,
time.
These are
So if you
trained
drown it in, like,
fighters
butter
from a
and whatever, it
ruthless
just
place
steals
in
the flavor.
Trappist, and they've come here and they're like, "What are all you?"
I could really
weirdos
go
doing?"
right now for some
So, you
butternut
know.
squash
Yeah,
ravioli.
it was quite
Butternut
confronting when I was
squash.
like doing my usual running through mud
Actually,
flats
I'm
with
fine.
my
I
ranger
just
in
ate.
like a Hessian sackcloth
It's
clothing.
so good.
And then I run into literally the ranger one, and they're like
Hold on, I have a
wearing,
crazy photo to
Giga
show you guys.
MTXs and they got
might
like
actually be
all
able
these
to show it
different
to
supported
stream if I
skills,
crop.
and they're like comboing them together.
I think
Something
my
out.
least favorite mushroom is like
it's
the stringy
giving
ones
you
that,
something to
that
aspire
come
to.
in soups.
It's,
Like, I
this
hate
is what I
those
can
ones.
become. And it's,
Which
whoops,
stringy ones?
I
Yeah,
felt really
come
good
in
They're
about
like
five
really
of them,
long,
and
Yeah,
I
look, maybe they
thin,
came here of
mini
their own
ones.
choice. They haven't
Enoki
been
mushrooms.
exiled
I
here
hate
as a
those.
criminal and
Oh, I
left
love
to- left
enoki
to rot on a beach.
I have to
mushrooms.
say, they kind of feel like suckers. So they've got this honor code system, right? That says that if a challenger comes and challenges them, they have
Alright,
to
you
wager
girls ready for
literally one of
this?
the pieces of clothing they
Yeah.
wear.
Stardew Valley IRL.
Of the
That's back when I
challenger's
had like
choosing, and the
grow.
challenger's
I was
not
growing
to
out my
copy them.
buzz
You don't
cut
have to
because I buzzed my
wager
hair
anything
during
of
COVID.
yourself.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like in a previous part of the video, we might have like, oh yeah,
Matza
you have
with
to-
a
you have to
buzz
put
cut.
in booger
What is this?
The game mechanic from the equation. And you
Yeehaw.
go, okay, let's say you and I have a duel, and I get to take your shoes.
Yep.
And my
What are you
sacrifice
gonna
is
do?
Can
I
you
have to
describe
die.
this photo, Yuzu?
I don't think that's a fair trade.
It's like if I went
This is
to
the one where you
like
can revive.
Yeah,
Home
but they don't know
Depot in the
that.
plant section.
Going out to the
Like,
countryside
honestly,
and
if I
wanting
have
to
go, like,
stay
your
there.
shoes versus my 15% experience,
I'm wearing
I
like
don't
a
know if
farmer
that's-
hat
Yeah, sure, but
with
like,
my
you know,
lime
that's
green
part
buzz
of my
cut
But you're
growing
trying to
out.
blend
So,
in with the
like,
locals,
I
so
don't know if I'll take that trade.
Well, that's you got me there.
Hold on, let me send this to
We've
my
got some
editor.
more questions about the mercenaries
Can you
there.
put
do mercenaries count as
emoji
minions? Has been
Oh,
asked.
my
I said
face?
15%, and I realized that is not correct.
Oh, what was the?
I
I'm
want
just making
to
up
show
numbers.
Oh,
No,
for
no,
the
no, no, no,
dying.
Ignore me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know that's the wrong number.
No. What have you done? That's going to be quoted.
Did you
I
know
just
that
quickly
every night
glanced
while
at
you
chat, and I'm
sleep,
like, oh,
spiders
geez, I
drop
said I
dozens
just
of
made something up on
mushrooms
the
in your
spot in the heat
mouth?
of the moment. Don't worry about me.
who drops mushrooms in my
The
mouth?
question was,
Spiders.
Okay,
minions
she's lying.
for the purpose
Don't
of
listen to her.
protecting-
Listen.
And they also drop blue cheese and
They don't
pineapples.
count as a semantic
Yeah,
minion
dude.
for, like,
You're
you
not
know,
doing
minion
that.
damage and all of that. But I know, for example, all the, you know how there's bosses and they have certain skills because they're less avoidable, they deal less damage to
Actually,
your minions.
Oh, yeah.
They
Quite
also
often?
A long
count as-
time
they
ago,
count-
me, you're not getting
they also
away
get
with that
damage
one.
reduction from those things. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I
like,
use a
they're
lot of
not
the
like
mushroom
going,
caps
"There's an
in the
AoE here,
summer
I'm
if
getting
I'm
out of
making
it, and you're gonna
burgers.
jump back in like you
I'll
are."
always
They're
like
just gonna
make
soak
my
the
burger
damage, and
on
so,
top of the
yeah,
mushroom
we've
cap
made it so
instead of on
obviously they're
bread.
not- They don't take as
Because
much
you can
damage
even make
from,
like little tiny pizzas on mushroom
you know,
caps. You can
those
put like
unavoidable attacks,
cheese
so to
on it,
speak, and
all your
much like how your
ingredients. It
minions
kind of
do and
feels like a
whatnot,
dough.
but again,
It's
they are
great.
pretty tanky. So you know, on top of that,
on that same spirit of like live improvements happening as we're talking about it. It's like yesterday
I
I
like,
was asking kind of,
I like
heal them with like
when
minion
burgers
flasks or
aren't,
something
like,
that to like heal them in between combats.
Super
later I got a
bready.
message
Like
saying
I don't
that,
like
oh, you
burgers in
guys have
general
changed
because
it
they're
so that they heal out of
always
combat now.
messy. But if
yeah,
a
it was taken
burger
from
has
the,
less
something
bread,
actually
I
really
like
that
it.
the minions do in PoE 2 where
Yeah.
Did you
when
just
there's some
say that you
downtime,
are
they
a
kind of
burger
regenerate back to
hater?
full life. So,
Uh,
yeah,
She hates
change
burgers
made,
and
so
pineapple
actually,
and
and
mushrooms
red
and,
meat.
Yeah, so now the mercenary don't
and
have
red
that thing
meat.
we
She hates
have.
everything.
I don't like
Everything.
steak because my dad
and,
would
like, you'll
make
explore a
me
few
eat
different
That's
steak
too
options.
every
fast.
It's like,
night.
you know what?
Okay,
Just
wait.
like if there's a little bit
That's
of downtime, or
understandable,
it's more if
though.
they haven't lost life in the last.
Are
some
you
amount of time,
vegan
they
by
just
any
move back to
chance?
full life. So
No,
Uh,
she's just being a
no.
hater.
Probably
She's
one
not
for you.
you don't just have
vegan.
them sitting
No,
at
I
10%
just
life and you're
I
like,
just
what
don't
am I
like red
supposed to
meats
do
a
here?
lot. It also makes me feel
so
like
they can be brought up
bloated a
dependent
lot
content.
when I
Any other
eat red
questions, I'm
meat.
saying?
Yeah, anywhere, everywhere in the game.
No restrictions on that.
Yep.
Nice, cool. And
Acquired
seemingly from
taste.
the
I like
based on the
chicken and
questions, don't believe
fish
that you
and
can have like
eggs.
a 6-person party and have 6 mercenaries. That you won't that you wouldn't allow that. That's too
I
crazy.
love
it is too
chicken and
crazy.
fish
that
and
you do
egg.
allow
That's
that,
all
but-
I have to add to
Never
this
did.
How about some
conversation.
roasted pepper salmon?
Okay.
I mean,
I don't really
yeah.
like salmon because
it's a lot-
salmon
it's a
is
lot of
always
words.
like the one fish that like
Okay.
is
I'm very
prepared
So she
differently
doesn't
each
like
time.
fish.
Everyone knows
No,
I play
okay,
my
it's
support
salmon though.
characters,
It's
and,
salmon
you'd expect, you're a
specifically.
support character, so you can get a DPS
Okay,
nerf now and you don't
buddy,
have to play with
you're
your
on
friends,
thin ice guess now you're
I'm
on
thinking,
thin
well,
ice.
hold on, I can be
Yeah.
a
It's
support
because
character and
salmon
have a support
sometimes
mercenary and
tastes
support my
too
friends.
Now
fishy.
you're crossing the line.
So like,
Of
you know,
course.
it's all win.
That sounds about you.
Yuzu.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, while leveling, I certainly felt like
What
the
is your
biggest ones
favorite fish?
were viable if I was playing on a smaller
I
role, or if
like
I was like struggling in that regard.
tuna.
They did seem like they were actually able
Okay.
to kill things.
Don't say
And
sushi.
does
Is that
does
something that can
eel
happen in any game?
count
Like,
as
that seems hard to
fish?
believe.
Okay.
Eel tastes kind of chickeny,
I mean,
but yeah.
look,
I
end
like
of the day,
eel.
you can give them headhunter, you can give them all of that stuff, and they take the damage.
Then
they
how does that
steal
make
it,
you
like,
feel?
What kind of
the only thing
tuna?
they don't have is
What
you
kind
know,
of
your
Don't
tuna?
say
skill,
can't.
which
Yeah.
could be.
What?
bad.
Oh, I
What?
love
What?
canned tuna.
Or
Do
you
not
could be very
discriminate.
good,
Oh no,
which
I
is,
like
you know,
I like
you know,
fresh tuna, like
I'm just
like
saying,
ahi,
they are,
like
they are still a computer.
I don't like canned
right? They are
tuna or
still, at the
like
end of the
cooked
day, doing that, so they
tuna.
might not make the smartest decisions that you agree with.
There's
and
like custom AI for each skill,
there,
though, right?
there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
100%, and
So they're a bit above the 50%.
I
mark
need
with
to
my
say,
Okay,
canned
she has
tuna-
a unique taste for seafood. Okay,
Listen,
I respect
that
it.
canned tuna
I,
salad,
yeah,
so
half
good.
it.
Computers
Never underestimate the
So,
amount of protein in that can of tuna.
But at the end of the day, you know, when you're like, you know, giga zooming and obliterating everything before it can even appear on your screen entirely,
Thank you,
you know, there's a
Jeff.
question of how much use can they really
What
be.
is
And
that
that's
your
where I come in and
favorite
say,
dish
look,
then?
The floor is still
My
they're a
favorite
party, half a party
dish?
member worth of loot increase. And they are,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, Yuzu, I
whatever
actually don't
auras
know
and
what
all
it
of
would
that. So
be.
you might
Yeah.
pivot from more.
Okay, I
you
like
definitely want
spicy
like, DPS ones are real
ahi,
good all the way through.
but I have
once you
multiple
again
different
become the
favorite
power of
dishes.
1,000
I like
gods,
spicy
Yeah, there's
ahi.
a certain point.
I
where
like
there's only so
naturally-
much you can do.
sinigang,
Now, that
and
being
then
said,
I
if
like
you do
chicken
want to play a more
piccata.
passive character and you want them to just
Ooh.
go wild,
Is
like
that why you ordered
they're
chicken
pretty
piccata
strong.
last
Those are
time?
actually
There's, of
sounding
course, the
really
thing where
good.
if you miscalculate that, you go into your pinnacle, relying on them to kill it, and you miss the
Okay.
mark and they die. It's not like you're bringing them back in that area.
they only have one
so
portal.
now you're
I
like,
don't
oh, damn it.
often get to
I'm
have
not
a
sure
good
what to do now, and
sinigang,
you gotta do
but
it the hard way. So
it's a good soup.
Yeah,
but
I
yes,
love how
much
sour
like
it
the, new
is. The
Chase
more
the Animate
sour, the more
Guardian, if they
better for
die,
me.
They don't come back into that area.
Seems like a good way of
only
doing it, yeah.
sequential
I
instances,
had a
yeah.
lot of it when I was
Much,
in
much better than
the
losing
Philippines.
gear and all that,
Yeah,
all that drama.
we went through all that. I even had to like, maybe in Ruthless they should lose.
But it's rare for me to find a good
I was
one
like, is that a thing?
where I
was like,
live.
no, look, it's either right or
So
wrong.
I never
Let's just
order
go
it.
with what we know
Ooh.
is right, what people will like,
Yeah.
and what is not going to just cause a bunch of unnecessary.
Well, what is your
oh my
favorite
God, Now I got to
dishes?
do this again, and something unpredictable
I'm so
happens,
basic.
Or some monster skill is like
I
particularly
have like the
imbalanced,
most
and it's like,
basic
oh my
person
God,
top
it just
three.
lost
Tell
so
us.
much currency,
Yeah, that was
and,
annoying.
yeah.
My
So-
top one is some
Oh, good.
kind of steak,
Sounds
like
great.
some kind of
Awesome.
meat protein, either a
So,
fish protein or a steak.
Settlers
Like,
Town went
I love
core,
a
we
good
didn't have to
steak,
rebuild it. Phenomenal, thank
medium
you.
rare,
Gold
rare,
Coast core, which
or a fish
obviously is
protein.
an
Does
experiment.
it have pineapple
two-
in
Success
it?
then, Jonathan. I think you feel like
Doesn't
you
have
speak
to. Number
that.
two,
I'm
some kind
sure
of
I
pizza.
was
I am
in
that
the
basic
feature
that
of the game.
pizza
Yeah,
is
I'm
my
definitely
number
happy with
two.
where like, you know,
I
with
don't
how Gold
care.
improves things.
Thin crust,
I mean,
thick
you know, we
crust.
originally
I do
did
not
it as
care.
a
Some
way
kind of
to
pizza.
reduce the
Number
of
three,
things
some
that,
kind of
monsters go
noodle
while still having it so that they feel like
Preferably
adult
the thicker
things.
noodles like
Yeah,
udon.
but I mean, I
That's
honestly,
it.
like,
That's
I
my
think,
top
I think,
three.
I think it's been a straight up improvement, and obviously, it's
Okay,
really good to be able to
okay.
work
I'm
with
sorry,
the, you know,
it's
the
so
new,
basic.
the currency market. and stuff
Valid
like that.
though.
Like,
I
think that's
actually
about you,
don't really
Zen?
like
I don't know
udon.
that there'd be another way to do that.
I love the
successfully,
thicker,
with,
slurpier noodles.
yeah,
I like the
I think
thinner
that's worked well. And
ones.
It's funny because you know, like on the surface, you're like, oh, every game's got.
What about
gold.
you,
But
Zen?
The funny thing about it is that in most games, gold is
Tacos is our
the,
number
a
one.
lot of
My
games have, like, bound
favorite.
items,
Huh?
and then gold is the only thing you can trade. In our game, you've got unbound
Your
items, and
favorite
gold is the only thing
dish?
you can't trade, and that's why it sort of works as that kind of trading kind of thing. So I think the way we've done it, like it
Pepper
works
cheese
well, and I definitely
steak,
wanna keep it.
butternut
It's got
squash
potential for
ravioli,
sure.
and lemon
And,
peppered
yeah,
grilled
like, we may
salmon.
be able to expand
Ah.
its use as well more in
Okay, the
future
lemon
games.
pepper
Like,
grilled
right now,
salmon
it's
kind of
used
sounds
for,
golden though.
like shops or anything like that.
Is pepper cheese steak
you
like
It
the
is
thing
very
they have in
good.
Philadelphia?
Shops, and like there was some issues around that, but
Is that what
we
that
might
is?
Change that one day. Sort of hard to say, but you know, yeah, I think
It's like a
definitely-
sandwich with steak and
it's good.
cheese, no? Or am I
Yeah,
thinking
okay.
of something else?
That
Ah,
means, obviously,
it's
currency
basically a
exchange,
small
saying
kind of a
things like that.
burger patty
It looks like
slice,
shipments
but it
are
has
saying for,
cheese,
and that's
peppers,
one that I see
onions
is, like,
in it.
mixed opinions on. Some people
Inside
love
of it,
you know, it's passive income. and
I love
stuff.
that me and Mata's was like kind of basic, but then like
And,
Zen
And
has
it
like
is
but
so
it's also
delicious.
Michelin
like
star
a It
dishes.
obligates
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you know, it's a thing you got to check. in
Zen
on.
knows her
It's
exact everything. I
busy work
love
to an
that.
extent.
We did some changes here, so we did slow down.
I
You
try
know, we made them
everything.
take longer, so
If I
and
go out,
proportionally,
I'm going to try
in
something
some cases,
different,
increase the rewards.
even if it's not my
The
favorite.
intention there being, of course,
Ooh,
that way you have to deal
I'm a
with it
big
less.
eater of
Yeah.
raw meat and raw
That's not the
fish.
You never know
Like,
what you
a lot.
We
find.
don't want to be overtaking
Raw
with
How do y'all
meat?
feel about raw
Look,
meat?
I expect
Yeah,
these things to be a
Like-
bit divisive.
like
100%. Some
blue
people love it, some
steak?
people don't, and that's great.
like
And that's everything in PoE,
tartare
and that's everything
or
we add, and
carpaccio.
Are you
you can choose
talking
to do
about
it,
a
you can
bloody
choose not to
steak?
do it. Maybe
I'm
you
talking
choose
like
to just
steak
do the
tartare, where it's like
crops and
raw
do the
steak.
shipments and not worry about all the
No,
other stuff to do
that
it.
makes me
Maybe
gag.
you
I
just use the
tried
map runners and
those.
put all of your gold
It's
investment
just
into
I
Yeah,
can't
that's a
stomach
bloody
those.
steak.
you know, there will be
I love
other ways to
tartare.
spend gold in the future. Maybe
I
you
like
get, maybe
raw
'cause you don't want
fish
to deal with them, you
though.
build up an excess,
I
and
love
then all
raw
of a sudden
fish.
we
I don't
had
think I can go
the
that far.
gambling strongbox
That's
from
fair.
PoE2 or something like that to sink the rest. Who knows?
I mean,
We'll see.
I go a little
Sure,
crazy.
good.
The last
It's a
time I
fun-
had
it's a
food
fun
poisoning.
strongbox,
Wait,
but,
Yuzu, were you still?
That will come to PoE1, I promise
Were
you.
you in?
100%.
Was
Yeah,
that the
So,
one that I was in Japan
But
with
you know, there'll
you,
be ways to
or
do
had
it,
you
but
just
we'll
left?
feel it out and see how much
I
gold
went
people are
for
getting
food
relative
with
to losing
Michi
as
and
well a bit,
Usan,
then
and I
see,
had
but,
Usan.
the
One of his
intention here
favorite
is that
things
if you-
is like
if it's feeling
raw
annoying and how
chicken
much you have to
liver.
deal with it, then,
Oh,
And I
hell
had raw
no.
chicken
probably
liver,
even
and then the next day I had food
extend it a bit
poisoning.
further
Like
as
that
well.
night, I started
But
getting
again,
food poisoning.
That's crazy because when I was with
you're
Yusan in
able to make a
Thailand, they
choice.
have like such a weak stomach, but they're eating fucking raw liver in Japan.
They were eating raw liver in Japan. They said it was like one of their
But
favorite
now that you're
delicacies,
actually, both in
and
terms of gold, but also
it
your
made
passive
me sick.
application, like, are you actually
That's
even
crazy.
investing in having those ores appear?
Everything they
versus
ate in
something else? So it's
Thailand
not
gave them a
necessarily
tummy
just
ache,
like
but they're eating
a
raw
free
fucking
thing that
liver
you're
in
obligated
Japan.
to
That's
do.
crazy.
It's now a more conscious decision.
I think it's 'cause
could
they're
see
in
it
Japan
feeling
more often.
mandatory, and if it does feel mandatory, then we've missed the mark a little
So
bit
you
for sure.
you want to avoid that.
I don't want it to feel so mandatory, but that being said, I also wouldn't want it to feel so terrible that you never want to engage with it. So there's
I
always
just
a-
realized
a
I have
fine
no
line
idea
to
what they
hit,
said for the
and,
last
Stuff
30
you can
minutes.
only get from
I'm
there,
so
there's always
sorry.
gonna be that
Yeah,
element.
Yeah,
for sure. If you
same.
wanna get the tattoos and rune
We're
grafts
just
and
here
some of
in
those rune grafts,
support.
A lot of them are like
Exactly.
Yeah, we're just
crazy
here
off-build
to support.
stuff,
Wait,
and
I
there's
have
some
to I actually have
pretty silly
to
ones in there, and,
pee, so
you
I'm
know,
gonna
there's
be right
some
back.
pretty crazy stuff in
Okay.
there
But I
to
must
get,
take my
you
lead
know,
because
but
I gotta eat some
I
lunch.
think it's a
Bye.
better
Have a
system.
good
I like
lunch.
the
I
Thanks
hope
for
it's squash
joining.
ravioli.
different passive tree mechanics that
I
can
go
coexist
pee now.
as the
I hope
as the
it's squash
reward system.
It's
ravioli.
lunchtime.
Bye.
Thank you
Love
for
you,
having
Zen.
me.
As
See you
opposed
next
to,
week,
like, you know,
okay?
just the freaking insane enchants that you were getting on your weapons.
Talk
at
to
all
you
points.
guys
Enchants are gone,
later.
and this replaces that. Yeah.
Bye,
Which
cutie.
I think most
They
people
were
expected.
So
they were a
cute.
little bit much on the power creep axis. It was kind of just a bit crazy, but you know, I wouldn't say that we won't see some sort of weapon enchant
I mean,
system
look,
back in the future.
Nobody was really
You
expecting
know,
to
and
hear a
when
lot
it's
of the patch
regulated and
notes
stuff
here,
like
right?
that, but you know, 'cause there's room for that. There's design space for that, but we never know what form. But I like that settlers is where you go to get your alternate passive tree stuff. I think for you know for changing masteries and changing nodes, I like that as the you know the reward from it.
It was a pretty funny reveal of the live reveal of the recombination changes because everyone was like, "Oh no, you did it! You got rid of the old one and replaced it with this." But
I
then
know,
obviously the old one's still there.
we're here seeing all of the L's, and then I'm like, don't worry, they'll
Patch
come
notes
they'll
are not
come
even
back,
out
it's
yet.
all right."
No!
So
It's all right.
and then
We can
L's,
probably
L's,
stop
L's,
for a bit then.
Saved. I love it. I had very thoroughly
Because
enjoyed
honestly,
it.
I'm having a hard time.
So you
understanding
get the old version recombination.
any
Is
of
that
it.
changed or nerfed in any way, or is that just?
But
as
I'll
it
wait for
was?
Yuzu to come back.
The old
Uh,
way, you know, I
and
can't
then I'll
speak
see
to
what's
that with
up.
an
I
absolute
initially
certainty,
was
and I
thinking
would
of
have to
maybe
talk
like
to,
opening up Path
you
of
know,
Exile
one of the
1
main designers dealing with that.
to
But I say like
take
we
a
should
look at
pretty
the
much
skill
keep it the
tree.
same.
Yeah.
And
But I
if
think
there
we
is
can
a
also
change,
just
it needs
yap
to
in
be, like,
general
very much
and
justified.
still
It's
talk about
not
the
like,
characters
you
because
know,
I
Yeah.
will be playing
so
this
you like it
game
for a
on the
reason. Like,
13th, and I think Zen
keeping
is going to
it
join us.
alongside the other one and then gutting it is obviously not.
Gym
not
time.
the
Have a
play.
good
You
one.
may
What
as
are you
well
working
not
out
keep it
today,
at that
Oscar?
point. So yeah, it was
Oscar,
certainly the
I'm gonna have a
intention that we
truly.
keep it. It's still a
Truly,
favorite.
you
Like,
work out.
if
I'm going to have a
anything, I would
truly.
be okay with making things more expensive.
Welcome
that.
It's a little
back.
harder to use at the top end when you're doing like
Yeah.
the very
Also,
I
since you're
think that
coughing,
is
are you
maybe the
planning
thing
on
we can
doing a
quote it
long
when you're
stream today
interacting
or
with a lot
no?
of the really special modifiers that you
Actually,
normally can't get
it
on items
might
or
be
make
a
them
longer
more
stream
expensive.
today because
But I don't think that was a
I
huge
have another
constraint anyway,
collab
unless
with
you would-
for the people
yeah,
doing
unless
this
you
Yumi,
usually.
Kiri, and
So, you know,
Tricky,
I would prefer
but they
to do
haven't
Let's
something
go.
like
What
that
time?
instead of
they haven't
nerfing the power of
responded
it at this
yet.
point.
They said around
And I'm like 99% sure we didn't nerf the actual
4.
functionality of it. But
PST.
I'll verify,
Yeah.
and if it is the case,
Nice.
I will let the community know.
I was gonna say, if you want, we can.
On the
I don't
topic
think
of
I'm gonna be
gold,
like looking at the class stuff
an ongoing
today.
thing has been that gold is, you know,
Well, we
very
can definitely
prevalent
just hang
from
out and yap a
Betrayal,
bit, and then I
less
can let you go so
mechanics
you can
and certain
prepare
things,
for your
but other things
collab.
just literally
Oh
don't
sure,
drop
yeah,
it.
like
White
I
water
don't
rings
mind
get
I don't mind
gold,
anything. We don't have
you know,
to
sanctums
play
or
until
stuff
like
get
the the update comes out too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I might as
is
well
there
just
something
play
that
when
has
the update
been
comes out. I might
Yeah.
across
play
the game?
one time
Players
before the
have been
update
able
comes
to
out,
see
just so
what
I'm like
use it?
We are
used
making
to
some
stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah,
when we
I
did
think
that,
it'd be
obviously we
better
went through
if
the
like we
entire
play
game of which there is
on
a
our
lot,
own
and
time to see
specifically
like
were
what
you know,
class we
do
want to
this, too much gold,
use,
lower,
or
lower,
like
and then we had
if we
Yeah.
want
increases
to take a look at the
increases all
tree
over the
a
place,
bit.
and yeah, a bunch of stuff got
On our own,
too
since
low.
Are you okay?
probably
I can hear you.
sorry,
Like,
my voice is
I
like
know, it's so
giving out.
cute.
Mostly.
Don't
There's
worry
just a
about
bunch of
it.
stuff that's just dead. And it
But
is our
yeah, because
intention for
there's
that to
gonna
not
be
the
like a
case. So,
lot
yeah,
of
we do want to
reading, so we
increase
might
those.
not
I
be
don't know
able
how
to
much
like
they'll necessarily
interact
increase
as
by,
much.
but
Yeah,
it is
that's
something
okay.
that is on our radar.
I do
100%.
think
okay, great,
Zen
'cause,
wanted to play
yeah,
with us, but
Heist
we'll
is a good
see. But we'll
example.
see.
Yeah, I
So-
think the most compelling argument I heard in favor of like making sure that those
Yeah.
had access to gold was for the player who
Wait,
We'll
Zen
see
wanted
after.
to play
They just
today
want
or
the
what?
highest- like,
100%.
She wanted to play
currency
next
exchange,
week
right?
with
That's the
us.
problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
and
Yeah,
then
we're gonna like confirm
it
time
is
slots
just
and,
like,
and stuff like
let's
that.
say it
Okay.
is already a relatively divisive league, and then also the gold side.
There's also have you
Seven?
watched this?
That is dead.
Have you
So
watched the
Yeah.
state of
it-
play? I was gonna
there are
watch
some
that
things where we
before.
maybe make an
the,
intentional
I have
Mhm.
not watched the
because
state
they
of play. Oh my
have,
god, there's everything this
too
weekend. There's
rewarding to be
Summer
like,
Game
look, it's not a
Fest.
place you're gonna get a lot of
There's
gold,
PC
sink
Game
'em.
Show.
And
There's
then,
everything.
when we're like,
Oh
okay, which
my
we'll
god,
make some
everything
changes
is
to.
happening
But,
all at the same time.
then you
Yeah.
It's
have
crazy.
the,
And
things like
Shadow
heist for us,
said
it doesn't
that
really
state of
isn't that
play was
regard, it's
actually
just like,
pretty
why
good
is
this
the
time
gold bad
around,
here?
so
It's
I
like,
was
look, it's
really
Really?
excited to watch
That's
it.
actually really smart. Maybe
Well,
I'll
I
watch
guess
it.
in
That's
the
only an
Yeah.
hour
anti-sanctum
long. You're so
alliance,
smart.
Yeah.
Thank you
people
for.
have been constantly messaging me asking about whether sanctum
No, I
systems
think
need
I'm
changes in
gonna
terms of
schedule it.
just kinda
So
how much
on
raw
Sunday,
currency
I'm gonna be
prints early
watching
league for, like,
what is
low
it called?
investment
On
for, like,
Sunday, I'm gonna
really
be
knowledgeable
watching
players, giving them such a massive less ones. Obviously, that's always
PC
the
Game
case,
Show.
but it seems
I might just
to
put State on the Play around
a
there.
severe magnitude.
Oh, okay, so
I
you're
don't
just gonna
have
watch
the
it
exact
that
changes 'cause
time.
they're
Yeah,
due, like,
yeah.
today
I
or
might
something
call
on
it.
Monday.
I might
But,
call it a
like,
stream soon, and
which
then
I
just
know it
rate
seems
you
crazy,
and all that
Okay.
fun
but they're
stuff.
not,
But
like,
Yeah.
mandatory
thank
rework,
you
but
for
at least for
hanging
now,
out.
so
I had so
Thank
much
you,
fun.
thank you. It was super fun. I hope you have a great rest of
I
your
don't exactly
day.
know exact what form,
I
but
did.
it's
I
not
hope you have a
gonna
good
have-
collab and
it's not
stuff.
just gonna be
Yes.
But
cuts.
huge thank you to
In terms
GGG
of,
for sponsoring us. We really
like a grander
appreciate it.
future,
And
I would
part two of
Unfortunately,
this
the
sponsorship.
link is
from,
not
you know,
working
it just
still,
being
so
pure
eventually it
and
will
move into
work.
something where it has its own kind of
Probably
own reward
before our
mechanic that has some
stream
sort
the
of
next
interaction with
time.
something. Like,
But yeah,
almost every
thank you,
league has
GGG
something
again
special,
for sponsoring
and that
us.
one
You
is just
rock.
like,
And
you know,
part two
obviously
of our
it's got a really
sponsorship
weird
is
system,
on the
but it's just
13th.
like,
I think in
here's
about a
some
week
uniques,
exactly,
here's a
you and
different
I
style
are
of
going to
gameplay,
be
but just
playing
like,
the
here's all
game.
currency.
And I think
So
we
yeah, then
might
it
have Zen
becomes
join
very
us. We might not. I'll
quantifiably
confirm
better
again
or
with all
worse
that
than
stuff.
just, like,
Okay.
core
But
game. And
we
obviously
are
very,
going to be
very early,
playing
it's really
at.
strong, and, you know, maybe
I put
juicing catches
on my
up, but
calendar
then,
it says 3
you know,
p.m., but I have a
like,
feeling it's
obviously
4
gets a little
p.m.
bit
I
my
think
crazy.
it
time.
says
Different access, you get a lot more uniques,
4
a lot more
p.m.,
Like 1
right?
p.m.
but,
Pacific. I
it's
think,
still,
yeah. It's because I always put
yeah,
an
it's just
hour
that it's
before
very
so that I
easily
start stream an
quantifiable
hour
thing where
early.
it's like,
Oh,
if you
okay.
have good
That I don't
strategy,
forget.
you know what you're doing,
Yeah,
Okay.
Friday the
especially
13th,
very
we're going to be
early on,
playing
so-
some
but
of
it needs
that
its own
Path of
thing.
Exile
It
1.
100%
I'm really
needs its own
excited.
thing,
I
so-
might
but
I
at
might
least
try
for
to
now,
play
it
like
doesn't
a
have to
game
be
or
as good
two
as it is for how
before that
easy it
just
is
to
to do
see
so.
like, oh my
So
god, what it
we'll
looks
make some
like, how it
changes, I just
runs,
don't know
all
the
that
exact
fun stuff.
specifics. And as a result, they won't be in the patch notes
Yeah.
today. It will
And I'll
be in
see
another
you
coming
then.
soon section.
Okay, my
Okay.
pookie.
Okay.
I hope you
I mean,
feel
again,
better.
Thank you. I hope I wasn't
Yeah.
coughing too much.
No, it was
Oh, it's all
fun.
good. Sit around and twiddle your thumbs. Exactly. Sounds good.
Everybody
and,
say bye to her.
with the,
Okay. Bye, Mata. Bye,
Wait, bye,
Momos.
bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye, Yuzu. I love you.
Love you.
Big
Mwah.
rabbit hole
She's
for that,
so
and
sweet.
something that was really long awaited. It does kind of
Okay.
make me want to ask, like, do you have anything else that you're really looking forward to?
Holy shit. Thankfully my Dayquil did hit. I don't feel like super achy or body like sore, but I have like my throat is giving in and my like cough is coming, but it doesn't hurt. It's like the Dayquil is hitting, but like my cough is still there, but my throat also hurts. But I'm gonna be trying my best to stream through the collab today because the clam jammies, I don't know if you remember, but Numi, Giri, and Tricky and I used to play lots of games together, and we wanted to bring that back today, but it doesn't look like anyone has responded yet on what game exactly we wanted to do. Tricky had some suggestions. questions, but we're just they might all just be sleeping or like busy at the moment. But yeah, until then, I want to watch. Oh God, my voice. I'm sorry, my voice. It's I feel so freaking chopped right now. I feel so chopped, dude. Second puberty. I know. It's the second puberty. You better not talk a lot during the state of play. I tried not to talk a lot during the Path of Exile segment because like there was a lot of things that that they were saying, or a lot of things that like were in the update. And I think because I haven't played Path of Exile 1 before, there's like a lot of things I don't know if it was a new addition or if it was in the game before, or like what is crazy additions. But I do like the idea of when we saw that that crafting part of the reveal was like had like 90 seconds to craft like the best armor or like gear or unique, which I thought was really awesome. And I'm excited to play the game for the first time because I really loved 2. I loved theory crafting, I loved build crafting, I loved playing off meta builds. And with Path of Exile 1, oh god, my voice, my voice with Path of Exile 1, there's gonna be a lot more build paths, a lot more build options. And I think I'm gonna try to play a bit before the actual next sponsored stream, which will be on the 13th, so that I get like a feel of what to expect with the expansion. But yeah, I would 100% recommend going through once with a build. I think maybe, I don't know if I'll do it on stream, but maybe I'll do it like in the Discord and you guys can like lead me through it, like give me some tips and tricks. But I want to know, I want to be familiar at least before I get into the second sponsored stream. I want to actually know what I'm doing and not be like, okay, what do I do? What's good? What's not good? I want to actually have experience before I get into that. Starting without a build guide is rough as fuck in PoE 1. Yeah. Because it's a lot more in-depth. It's a lot more polished. It's a finished game. It's not early access. It's going to be very, very a lot to deal with if I'm just going in there, if I'm just throwing myself in. You can be 300 hours and still not know what you're doing. Even in Path of Exile 2, like I have so much hours on that. Like let me see. Let me open up my Steam to check. Even in 2, I still feel like, I mean, I pretty much got it down. I have like 348 hours in Path of Exile 2. I got like the general gist of it. Like I know how to build I know how to build my warrior. I know how to build my my witch. I know how to build my sorcerer. But anything other than that, like, is just I still struggle with, especially like monk. I don't really know what I want to build on monk. Oh, I do watch Zizarin. I watch Zizarin and I watch Quinn. I love Quinn. He's super funny. Especially when he's reacting to Elon Musk. It's great. Love that. Love Quinn. And I love when he does that little like VTuber, it's not like he doesn't do it often, but there was one time where he was a VTuber and he did this thing where like he accidentally showed his face and he was like, oh no, my face. It was face reveal. I love watches Quinn, hate watching Elon Musk. Yeah. Hi Mata, thank you for the raid. Thank you for hanging out today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your stream. I'm sorry I coughed so much while I was with you, but thank you. Welcome Momos. Thank you also for all of the subbies, Mata. I appreciate it. Take you. The Momos will be in great hands. I promise I will try my best at not getting them sick. Momos, wear your mask, put on your mask. Or not, and open your mouth while I cough. I don't know, whatever you want. Get some soup or something and rest, girl. No, I can't. I have to wait until the clam jammies respond, because I don't know if like I don't mind streaming the rest or streaming for a bit longer because I don't feel like bad. It's just my voice. It's just my voice giving in. So yeah, I will stream as long as my voice is you can comprehend what I'm saying.